welcome back. Today is the last day of Contenders Trials EU Season 3, where we will be seeing Shoes Money Crew take on Tea&Biscuits. I'm joined by my analysts, Kenobi and Lafon. Guys, Tea&Biscuits, they're already out of the running, but what are they going to be fighting for today?
I think Tea&Biscuits is going to be fighting a little bit for pride and a little bit to show, how they can match up against teams that are a little bit on the up and up more so than they are. They're going up against Shoes Money Crew, who still does have a chance to win. So I'm going to be looking out for more of the one-on-one matchups between these teams. You have Tri-Spear versus Mini Conga on the Ana battles, and you have Barbecue versus Rotten on the Diva and the off tank. They've had an issue a little bit about how they've been playing their divas so far. So I really want to see that shine a bit and see, how these two teams can stack up against each other one-on-one.
Lafon?
I think, I'm just going to just step in there. But another interesting thing here is Tea&Biscuits can play spoiler, right? Shoes Money Crew, they win, they're in. So this is definitely one beyond pride. You can definitely say, yeah, we were good enough to play at the same level as this team. And now they need to show it. So they won yesterday. It's a little too late for them, but they probably want to continue that coming in. And again, pride on the line. And for Shoes Money Crew, there's a lot here at stake. Win, and you're into Contenders proper, and lose, and it's your fault that you're out of contention. So there's a lot here in this matchup between these two teams to keep an eye on. Rolls for one, but I think it's going to be a good game for sure.
Kenobi, you mentioned something about these one-on-one matchups. Which player do you think is going to have the biggest impact on this game today?
I think it's going to be Barbecue on that Diva. We've seen him play, and his Diva is rather good. The issue that I have with some of what Shoes Money Crew has been doing in these recent, leading up to these matchups that they have now, is that their Diva play has been very lackluster in eating Ana nade, and especially with Mini Conga, who's a very, very capable Ana. If you're letting him get those free grenade values that the Diva should be technically eating, like there shouldn't really be those options where you get a huge 5-man anti. Those should be eaten by the Diva, and Barbecue has had a very tough time in recent games doing that, especially against Copenhagen Flames. Even though they won, one of the things that they struggled a lot at was that Ana battle. So I want to see Barbecue really amp it up and try and have more of a better chance of eating those Ananades. Maybe help from Tri-Spear saying you need to really, I'm the Ana player, you need to be eating those because I can't be healing through those antis.
Shoes Money Crew, they didn't look like they were going so hot at the start of the season, and then they had this really big turnaround win against the Copenhagen Flames. Lafon, what would you say sparked such a change?
Well, I mean, one thing that happened for them is they picked up a new coaching staff actually fairly recently, so that definitely will help. I mean, one of the complaints we had about Shoes Money Crew in the early part of the season was their ult economy. It was somewhat lackluster, or perhaps too explosive. They would use too many things too frequently, and that was a huge issue, especially with how important ultimates are in this game. And for Shoes Money Crew, the fact that they got a coaching staff, and it seems like they've turned that around pretty quickly, has to bode well for them moving forward here, especially in this matchup, and ideally for them even beyond.
And something else the coach brought to the table, that to piggyback a little bit off of what Lafon's saying, the capability for Shoes Money Crew to switch up their comps quicker. We had, when they were in open division, they had a little bit of an issue just sticking on 3-3 for various periods of time. And we're kind of known as just like a 3-3 team, like a lot of open division teams were. But now with this new coach, they've started to play a little bit more interesting compositions. They're sometimes bringing out Mei against Deathball. They have these little niche picks. They're playing a lot more dive with the Genji and with the Sombra. And they just look a lot better team, much more cohesive and proactive team, reacting to what the composition switches are on the other team. So I think that's definitely something Shoes Money Crew has been doing a lot better at recently.
And on that point, actually, just to follow up even further, is that they played against Copenhagen Flames last week, a team that is made up primarily of ex-Eagle Gaming players, a team that was known to be the tank team in Europe. They won Contenders Season 2, in fact, and on top of that, Shoes Money Crew went toe-to-toe with them at their composition and took the victory. So there's a lot here for Shoes Money Crew that it's been pretty bright, actually, in the last couple of weeks. So for them, they've got to be happy coming into this match.
Things have started to look up for them. In open division, as you were talking about, Kenobi, you saw that Shoes Money Crew, they weren't the favorites at first, and then they really rose to the challenge. Do you guys think that they are going to be able to do this in trials today?
I think so. I think Shoes Money Crew definitely has what they need in terms of their play styles. I look at the team sheets and I look at who's playing against who, the matchups that we're talking about, the one-on-ones, and everywhere on Shoes Money Crew, I see them have the edge. And for Tea&Biscuits, there could be that thing where they have nothing to play for, so nothing to lose rather, so they're just going to be playing as best they can to try and play spoiler. But I think Shoes Money Crew, looking on paper and looking how well they've looked against beating Copenhagen Flames, who was basically Eagle Gaming Part 2, and how they did that, I think they definitely have a very good chance to win and get themselves into trials or contenders.
LaFon, what do you think?
It's definitely the story of Shoes Money Crew. Leave it to the last possible moment to get in, and they've done this before, so it's not surprising here. They do have. It's going to be very, very interesting because this is a team that's been. These are players that have been around for a while, right? And now is their opportunity to make it all the way through, and it rests on their performance. The story here is win and you're in for Shoes Money Crew. And it's going to be interesting whether they can rise to that pressure and actually perform now that they have that possibility.
All right, well, we'll have to wait to see what these teams can do. We're going to throw to a short break before our casters, Panda and Jaws, take us into Ilios.
Every step I take is miles from where we started. I should have never walked away. And parts of me believe that I should have seen it coming. I wish we had another day. Looking back, I understand all the things that didn't go the way I planned. All these thoughts keep me awake. It's this feeling that I can't shake. But we kept running and running, though we were out of breath. Wish I could have known that we're broken by the weight that's on my chest. I need to know how we got here so I can stand my ground. I just want to make it right this time around. From time to time, I still think about the good and the bad, just to remind me it was real. It takes a lot to learn from tragedy and where we went wrong, but I am sure that we can heal. Looking back, I understand every word and every moment replays. All these thoughts keep me awake. It's this feeling that I can't shake. But we kept running and running, though we were out of breath. I wish I could have known that we're broken by the weight that's on my chest. I need to know how we got here so I can stand my ground. I just want to make it right this time around. Looking back, I understand every moment, all the things that didn't go the way I planned. Inside my head, all these thoughts keep me awake.
Hey guys, and welcome to the final game of Trials Europe. My name is Jules, obviously, and I am joined by Panda. And thanks for having me here, man. I really appreciate the opportunity to do it. It's going to be quite an exciting game as well. Shoes Money Crew have the opportunity to actually bring it home today and actually make it into Contenders, which is obviously quite exciting. Tea&Biscuits, unfortunately not, but they can still show off to everybody why they are here and how good they actually are as individuals.
I'm glad to have you here personally. It's kind of like a passing of the torch, if you will, Jaws. I mean, like here at Broadcast.gg, passing it back over to you with trials, these players on their path to pro. And like you said, Shoes Money Crew, they're looking to make their way back in. They have been there before. You casted them in a previous moniker of a team, but like you had mentioned as well, Tea&Biscuits, they're looking to play spoiler to Shoes Money Crew. But I can tell you this much from the players of Shoes Money Crew, they're going to come to play just like at the final moments of their open division run. They want to make it to Contenders for sure.
Absolutely. And that's the most important thing for Tea&Biscuits right now. You know, keep your head high. Just make sure you can prove to everybody that you are here and you are ready to not mess around. Well, ready to not mess around. They're not going to mess around and they're ready to play. And that, again, is the most important thing. They need to show to everybody that they are individual players and they are incredibly good on their respective roles, because there is an opportunity after playing in this tournament and to show everybody why they should either be in Contenders or Trials yet again to kind of make that rerun. We'll see if they want to stick together as a team as well, because that is also obviously quite exciting. Although I can imagine a few roster swaps here and there. If you don't have a successful ROM roster, it can be quite easy to find in amongst the massive pool of players that are in Overwatch in the EU to kind of rebuild for another roster. But Shoes Money Crew looking pretty good. Like we said, they get their chance now to move all the way up to Contenders. And yeah, kind of pass the torch to me in that regard, and then we'll kind of take it from there. But I like what the analyst was saying on the desk. I mean, especially when you look at Shoes Money Crew, the experience that comes from this roster already, they beat Copenhagen Flame the other week. Like that's quite a mean feat. You're coming up against people like Hardest, who's the best Zai in EU, and now Barbecue's got this other mantle on him that the analysts were talking about in just trying to eat Ana nades, right? That's probably one of the most important things in this meta, is stopping that Ana actually getting a big ante on the rest of the team, because Ana is now, thankfully, back in the meta. We're not seeing permanent Mercy for it. So now we're actually seeing Ana that requires a little bit more skill than a Mercy, some would say, in it.
Just a little bit. I mean, Kadash's staff versus a sniper rifle that heals your friendlies. Yeah, I would say one has a little bit more skill base rather than the other one. But yeah, like you said, I mean, BBQ gonna graduate from that defense matrix play from eating gravitons to eating biotic grenades. We're gonna have to see if he's ready to take that mantle today. It's kind of a running story with Shoes Money Crew. If they're firing off on all cylinders, these players in particular with Mouse, Zeal, Izzy, Colsty, Tri-Spear, I mean, they are all fantastic players. But it's when they stop working as a cohesive unit that they start falling short. I want to see the Shoes Money Crew that beat the past members from Eagle Gaming in Copenhagen Flame. So I mean, that's within its own self. Like you said, Jaws, that's a big statement already. And these players, again, ready to make it into Contenders. They have to show up and they have to play their game. It's quite literally their game to lose. But I don't want to beat a dead horse here in saying, but it's Tea&Biscuits looking to play spoil to Shoes Money Crew's party. I mean, Christmas may come early, and Tea&Biscuits are looking to play the Grinch.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We are going to go through a quick break, however. It will be about 3 more minutes' time. We'll get into game number 1. We'll see you guys in a bit. Hey guys, welcome back. Obviously, very short break, but we are jumping into game number 1. Shoes Money Crew over on the blue, Tea&Biscuits over on the red side. Game number 1's going to be Elios. Doesn't look like we're starting out on Lighthouse as well.
Lighthouse is a very fun map, very versatile map where you see a lot of good tanks coming out to play. But in this day and age, these two teams going to be seeing a lot of dive, in particular with Rodden and Valmaster, their Winston and Diva combination coming off of the win yesterday against HSL. Was looking very strong, but Colsey and Barbecue, again, two tanks that have a decent amount of time played together. Barbecue on that Diva role in particular, we were talking about before our little break there. His defense matrix needs to be pivotal coming into this match. But the one difference in between these compositions, if not the two, got a Sombra and a Doomfist versus a McCree and a Brigitte with Tri-Spear on that Ana. Jaws, this is going to shake up very nicely for Shoes Money Crew.
Yeah, Shoes Money Crew has in the classic Sombra Doomfist dive. You get hacked, there's nothing you can do about it, and Doomfist is going to one-shot you regardless. Regardless if you don't get hacked as well. Like, realistically, his damage may be a little bit too high. They're going to get jumped up on the high ground. Webster just being a little bit more cautious now, has to. But Lynx just trying to find a small flank, maybe onto the Doomfist. However, a nice headshot onto Mouse, forces that recall. But Zeo ends up going down. Used those abilities a little bit too soon to try and go for an engage, and Lynx was already waiting for him with one kill in the bag. Make that two as Lynx does find the Hannah kill onto Colsey. In fact, a fourth as Mouse tried to touch the point at last. And will be Tea&Biscuits actually wiping the floor with Shoes Money Crew to start off with and cap the point.
You know, that one firm difference in the support line, Tri-Spear's Ana versus Minikunga's Zenyatta. We talked about it briefly on the desk about Minikunga's Ana play, but his Zenyatta play with that Discord orb has been very strong for Tea&Biscuits. You can see Lynx picking up on that early on, the Discord orb on to Zeal's. Doomfist is going to force that early swap onto the Brigitte himself. Brigitte is one of those heroes that when you see the enemy team run it and they're making a strong defense on a control point like Elios here, you need one yourself. High noon coming out from Lynx here, Jaws.
Oh, he manages to find Zeal somehow. It looked like it just bent the bullet around Ryan's shield. Shoes Money Crew obviously switching up to the Ghost Com. They are going to be able to find the pin onto Webster. It's all up to Lynx now to fire as much damage as he can into the point. Self-destruct also, and that shield is all but gone as Valmaster does end up finding the kill onto Coast using that Primal Rage. In fact, 2 kills for him in the ultimate as he did manage to find the Tri-Spear also. Quick reset off the map for Barbecue, however. Tea&Biscuits finding a couple there. That was an opening up with a Deadeye, already at 85% once more, and Valmaster finding 2 as well. Shoes Money Crew, however, only just switching over to Ghost. Don't have too many ults to work with just yet, but they do have self-destruct.
And look how well they snuffed out Zeal too. 20% to that rally charge is not where you want to be as a Brigitte player. Rodden's coming back onto this hamster to make a little bit more of a strong defense here, but Lynx is so close to another Deadeye with Fillion about to wrap around for armor. Underneath that Deadeye is about to be real strong with that shield bash finding Izzy. That is not where you want to be for Shoes.
Another Deadeye on point. Zeal this time holding his shield up in a defense matrix to eat most of those shots. So flashbang onto Colsey. He's standing extremely low after that headshot. Another self-destruct comes in. This time a little bit more defensive on Shoes Money Crew as they do end up running to the point. But 80% already on the clock. Tea&Biscuits holding this fast for now. Still stalling it out. However, that rally coming through for Shoes Money Crew should make them a little bit more healthy. And that sound barrier as well as they do try and chew through the front line. Problem is the Transcendence going off for Tea&Biscuits as well to keep them alive also. Colsey has the shadow eventually. Does manage to find 2. But Webster already finding a couple of his own. Mouths and Izzy are going to get booped off the side of the map, and Colsey, no matter what you have or what you can do in this game, doesn't look like it's going to be enough. 99% as overtime is there. Colsey is finally eliminated, and overtime ticks down. Shoes Money Crew end up losing Lighthouse after a dominant performance at the start of the map. Tea&Biscuits held fight after fight after fight.
And Shoes Money Crew hit the ground running, but Tea&Biscuits were right there again to play spoiler. They couldn't find their way to the back line. That armor from Fillion and the counter dive coming out of Valmaster and Rodden just left Lynx to do what Lynx does best, and what Lynx has been doing since Open Division on his run is coming out on these hit scan heroes. McCree coming out on Lighthouse specifically, really making a good showcasing, not letting all the flashbangs until the end for the headshot onto Zeal to finalize that round. But man, is he landing shots. Those Deadeyes are coming around every fight and a half or so, Jaws, and that's very difficult for Shoes Money Crew to find their way into it, especially taking that late swap onto the 3-3 Goats composition. They've never found a way to actually build up an ult economy, but as we're coming out here on well, it's going to be Colsey swapping over to the Sarissa, looking for some environmental kills. Mouse is going to go tit for tat with Lynx on his own McCree.
Well, half dotes for Tea&Biscuits, mixed in with the McCree. Honestly, you just keep Lynx on the McCree at this point. Don't see the point in changing it if he's doing so well. Colsey's going to switch sides, however. Shoes Money Crew now setting up on the other side. Not running that Rose Hog. They are running just the Orisa with the Diva. Hopefully to just try and stop that McCree doing as much damage as he possibly can. However, a little bit of Goats action for them too with triple support also. Link's already about 50% towards his Deadeyes. He's just pummeling that shield. But the issue is he already finding 2 kills? Rotten's mech's going to fall, and that will be another kill for a support. Also, Tri-Spear manages to pick off Webster. Shoes Money Crew in a little bit of a better situation this time. Mouse is on a McCree of his own.
Yeah, they play their game this time. Shoes Money Crew, they come back on with a mirrored support lineup. Tri-Spear going toe for toe with Minikunga's Zenyatta here. The Discord orb and lobbing those orbs of destruction is creating so much space passively for Izzy to get in there and to utilize Lucio's speed boost very effectively. Speeding Colsey to different sides of that well is where you definitely want to be. Barbecue with that defense matrix was doing a decent job of shutting down the damage coming through from Tea&Biscuits, but Lynx is still able to come in here with the Deadeye. Mouse has one as well.
He's going to pop it out, see what he can get. The shield goes down, 2 kills. Zeo and Tri-Spear are not falling. That's what we wanted to see. Mouse, not quite the sheriff in town. That Shoes Money Crew needed. Webster's going to find the boop onto Mouse. Also, Tea&Biscuits looking to reclaim this point. 40% has been acquired, though, for Shoes Money Crew, so they should be pretty happy with that on their first push at least. Barbecue ends up finding the self-destruct kill onto Fillion, who switched over to a hands of his own. So double DPS coming out for Tea&Biscuits now. Switching up to a little bit more of a default setup, 2-2 and 2. No more Brigitte for Tea&Biscuits. Problem is, though, they haven't got too much direct healing. They have only got Lucio and the Zenyatta for heals. No main heal to be seen.
No big burst heals, that's right, Jaws, but they have 2 Transcendences across the board, Shoes and Tea&Biscuits. Now how are they going to implement it, especially with Valmaster being behind in this ult charge? Colsey's going to be able to walk back in here with a supercharger, and with Mouse holding onto the Deadeye, it could be very devastating as they're wrapping on this flank all the way to the other side of the well.
Oh, that's what you want to see, that Bongo going down, but the Dragons is going to cut that off just a little bit. A Transcendence after that beat was used by Shoes Money Crew. Point was flipped. In fact, Tea&Biscuits kind of stepped off, and there's a whole lot of blue in the kill feed as Tri-Spear, Zeal, and Mouse find themselves a few kills each. Mouse still holding on to that Deadeye. That rally pushed them forward after that sound barrier, easily outliving the Dragons. And Tea&Biscuits, a little bit hot-handed there, as they did use that Transcendence fairly early on. Maybe they could have waited for the beat to run out and then re-engage. Not sure, but Shoes Money Crew easily retake the point. 65% to 31.
And they're still building up this ult economy. Sure, they went ahead and used Minikunga's Transcendence, but they're very close to Lynx's Deadeye yet again. Rodden's going to be able to recontest this point with the self-destruct. Valmaster only halfway to a supercharger. But the real story here is Barbecue already charged up to another self-destruct. Mouse holding onto that Deadeye. That is actually a very good zoning combination to shove everybody into a corner and to self-destruct them into oblivion.
Early trans this time, a sound barrier has been used by Tea&Biscuits. A self-destruct narrowly landing on the point. Rotten tried to force it over to try and pick Mouse off at least. The Deadeye is coming out from him as he sees the Orisa through the shield, but can't quite get the kill with a poop from Webster yet again to land himself another kill. But Barbecue taking the game into his own hands, finding 2 of his own. That will be still Shoes Money Crew holding on to the point. 99% in overtime now. Tea&Biscuits have to get back to the point. Problem is, there's only a Cowboy versus the rest of Shoes Money Crew. We won a piece so far, and it looks like we're going to go the distance. Going to jump onto Ruin.
The town with the well, and it certainly is not big enough for the entire team of Shoes Money Crew and Lynx. Lynx having to step up just a little bit more. He was charging those Deadeyes very quickly. It's kind of been the story all throughout this entire map so far, Jaws. But as we're moving over to Ruins, this is Widow's Playground. Not many teams have been swapping over to Ruin just because this is a very tank-eccentric meta. As you can see, Tea&Biscuits playing with that 3-3, the GOATs, if you will. Zenyatta in play. They've been doing a good job of playing around the Discord orb from Minikunga, but this is the one that I want to see most effectively. How is Shoes Money Crew going to adjust? I've always spoken about Mouse's Zarya, his tracking and his hit scan capabilities always go right over to that Zarya play, and playing with Colsey's aggression, getting a lot of charge over to this Zarya player. Mouse can pop off and charge Gravitons very quickly. The difference here is going to be Tri-Spear going right back to the spawn room, is going to swap over to the Zenyatta. I don't know if he fully meant to come out there on the Sombra, I'm not going to lie.
Well, you never know. Sombra pretty good at countering the 3-3. Big EMP onto 6 members as they are normally grouped together. It does hurt quite a lot. However, Tea&Biscuits taking firm control of the point so far, but Shoes Money Crew right now have got the high ground. Lynx is pretty high charged as well, so once we have to burn that shield down and burn that Diva down in pair also. Shield already falling for the side of Colstein, which means the rest of his team are quite vulnerable. Valmaster will end up going down. Colstein the same, but is he still darting around the point, healing his teammates up? But the problem is that Discord Orb now, only one place is going to go, and that's that tanky front line. Tea&Biscuits, they end up capping the point first up. Lynx 60% towards that grab already.
I wonder if Tri-Spear actually came out on in stealth mode to see what Tea&Biscuits were running, but they gave the entire point over to a 3-3 composition, and this is a very scary place to be if you're Shoes Money Crew, to walk back into this point, into 3 supports and 3 tanks of Tea&Biscuits. How are you going to find your way into there when both of these supports are about to have their ultimates? Specifically, Mini Conga with that Transcendence is going to hold on to it when Mouse is inevitably going to build up this Graviton Surge. Colsty and Barbecue need to put in work to create space for Mouse to get this damage off.
Well, they've got Trance, and they've got a grab coming up as well. The Graviton Surge, you're going to have to dodge that defense matrix. Barbecue, you've got to be hot in hand, like I said before. Nice pin to the pillar. It's going to grab 2, but that sound barrier is going to help them survive for the time being. However, that self-destruct narrowly avoided. Izzy only just got himself back onto that point. Another sound barrier used, this on the side, this time on the side of Tea&Biscuits. They try and defend that point. Lynx did get hit to the ground with that Earth Shatter from Colsty. The problem is Colsty's extremely low himself, and still Mao's alive in the front line, completely ignored almost at 100% charge. Has built up to a Graviton Surge of its own, but it doesn't like vanilla play for Shoes Money Crew right now. Just control this point. They managed to get the flip. 70% though has been acquired by Tea&Biscuits. The best thing is about this situation though for Shoes Money Crew, didn't really have to invest that many ults. They used the sound barrier and they used the Transcendence, so they still have that grab. They've still got the self-destruct and the rally available.
The only problem with the offset ultimate charge here, Jaws, is that Mouse is still holding on to this Graviton Surge. Mini Conga had enough time to charge up another Transcendence in time that if they don't use this Graviton Surge soon, they're not going to be able to find what they want, but they pull it out just in time.
Grab. Colsty's going to swing on in, take 4 kills. Easy cleanup for Shoes Money Crew. They win a fight, and they manage to keep 2 ultimates to spare also. That Graviton Surge so good at building up those shadows, and Colsty's netted 1 for himself.
We never really talk about it in these compositions, but look at these Lucio players. Webster and Izzy are doing a fantastic job implementing their Amp It Out ability to speed their tanks into Oblivion, and that Shatter was huge.
Oh, Philly running so low, but Transcendence to stop them moving anywhere for the time. They are going to survive. That self-destruct would have been something special, Barbecue, but it was blocked off, and it was only in 1 choke. Rotter managed to take out Zeo at the start of the fight. That armor being chunked away from that rally. Shoes Money Crew are getting cleaned up. Mouse goes down, and Lynx is just farming Barbecue for his grab right now. He just ended up acquiring that one too. Is he trying to stall out for as long as he can, but decides to hip hop out of there? Has got that sound barrier available to him. However, 70% now for Tea&Biscuits. They've got a couple of ults themselves as well.
And Colsty finds Fillion on the backswing, but that's a good death for Fillion in a way because he's going to be able to come back with this rally and give that armor to Lynx underneath those shields, and especially for Mini Conga. And the Graviton Surge is being held in the bank for Lynx. Webster with that sound barrier could be pivotal, as this might as well be the last fight scenario for Tea&Biscuits.
Oh, Vlamaster almost went down there, had a Discord orb on him. That an instant retake here from Shoes Money Crew. Tea&Biscuits basically let them have, Tea&Biscuits basically let Shoes Money Crew have that point completely for free. They were 90%, didn't manage to touch whatsoever, and House has a grab of his own. Tea&Biscuits do have a few ults to themselves, however, and this is what it's going to be all about, hitting that Graviton Surge fairly early, and that's exactly what's happened. Mouse is caught all on up, that self-destruct coming in, and 3 kills for Rotten as the shield was removed. Colsty ends up going down along with Mouse and Zeo, and that'll be Valmaster now moving on to that point, 90% to 90%. Choose Money Crew, they've only got 1 more fight to try and turn it around.
Rodden spoiling Shoes Money Crew here on Ruins. What is self-destruct, and then the cleanup right onto the Pilot Diva. They're going to get the flip here. It's going to be very difficult. Zeo with the swap over to the Hamster to try to make it back to the point in time. But look at the spoil just playing right into the spawn room. 99% Jaws, and just barely in time. Shoes Money Crew start the overtime with.
Lynx was getting 1v1 by Tri-Spear. I'll let that sink in for just a little bit. That will be Tri-Spear picking up 1 kill into Webster, but Lynx finally makes his way in, gets a little bit of revenge on one of the supports. The self-destruct is blocked out, but Zeo is the only one left. He has to stall for as long as he can. Tri-Spear ends up making his way back to the point as well, but Fillion's just going to chase him down on the Brigitte, a Discord orb on the Hamster, and that'll be Zeo falling. Tea&Biscuits end up winning the match with the map win on Ilios. 1-0 up in the series so far.
1-0 up in the series, and this is exactly what we saw yesterday versus HSL Jaws. Tea&Biscuits, they're not down and out of the count. They are looking to play spoiler to Shoes Money Crew's Contenders' hopes. And as they come out here on their 3-3 composition, they really stay strong. Behind Mini Conga's Discord Orb and Webster's Lucio Speed Boost, they are always in the right place at the right time. Pulling out and taking away Colsty's shield for Rodden's self-destruct is the play that you want to see. They definitely want to keep your eyes out on that Diva player in particular, because he has been getting better and better as Trials has been going on.
Well, that's exactly what the analyst said on the desk, which was, gotta watch out for the Diva players, and Rotten is exactly that. I mean, this is just setting up an easy Giganti bomb. Graviton Surge, remove the shield, easy 3k for the D.Va player. And it was kind of a bit of a bait, I feel, for Tea&Biscuits. It's like, okay, I'll let you have the point at 90%, no worries. We're just going to instantly re-engage. A couple of small slip-ups there, not someone touching, but hey, end up working out for them as they weren't blowing ults early. It was actually Choose Money Crew overextending at the very end there and losing the fight, all because it felt like baiting in Graviton Surge and then instant self-destruct for the 3k. Look pretty good. Tea&Biscuits could play upset here. Remember, Choose Money Crew have to win this series in order to make it in Contenders. We'll find out what's going to happen map number 2 very shortly, though, as we jump to a quick break. Hey guys, welcome back. Tea&Biscuits currently up 1-0 against Choose Money Crew. We're going to jump on to Hollywood for our next map, our hybrid map of choice, of course, by Choose Money Crew. We'll see what they want to bring out. But that last series, when the complete distance, I say series, it was one map, Elios, but when the complete distance and going 2-1 in the favor of Tea&Biscuits, just ultimate economy control, it seems like the name of the game for them, baiting Mao's in like a little bit on the Zaya and then just going for the perfect execution with Rotten's D.Va bomb.
Yeah, and you can tell just Choose Money Crew still seeing the same deficits that they've been facing themselves with ever since their run originally through Open Division, is when they overcommit themselves, they throw ultimates to where they don't need to. Colsey needs to play himself a little bit further back, peel for his backline, and be ready for the counter dive, because like you said, Jaws, Tea&Biscuits, they're playing their game. They're sitting back with a nice cup of tea and a couple of biscuits themselves and just ready to bait Choose Money Crew into whatever fight they want to take. Zeal, Mouse, it's going to be a true dive with Tri-Spear on this Ana on their attack for Hollywood.
All right. This is what I wanted to see. Just some pure aggression from Choose Money Crew. Yeah. Sombra into the Genji. I'm sure you've experienced it in your solo queue games already, how annoying it can be when you get hacked or EMP. But Tri-Spear going down first up. That's not looking too good for Choose Money Crew. Lynx and Mini Congo are going to find themselves a couple of kills. Holsty is going to get chased out. And in fact, that's a lot of charge for Lynx, as he does manage to find the Mecha Barbecue. Also, using that Lucio speed boost is going to scoot him to safety as well. But 80% on that grab first fight, and he wasn't even high charged either. Lynx doing a lot of work.
and still only 17% more for that Graviton Surge. Could be a fight win victory before it even starts for Tea&Biscuits. The 3-3 works out on defense here, Jaws, just because there's not much high ground orientation that you can't get to by way of speed and the staircase themselves. Once you're on top of this top villa point where the dive is currently taking for Shoes Money Crew, you can just speed right back on, but a hack and kill, Vinny Kunga's out of the fight by Mouse.
That's not where you want to be. Zeal's in pretty low, but a Graviton Surge on top of the cafe, an EMP to respond though, so no one can actually get any damage off. Colsty, however, is going to go down first, but Zeal's going to find another kill on to Filion on the Brigitte. There's one big support player down for Tea&Biscuits now. Willings is still alive and well on the point, and they still have that Reinhardt. Shatter hits the ground, doesn't quite hit anybody, but Barbecue is just going to force himself into the enemy team and end up feeding a whole bunch of ult charge. Tea&Biscuits are going to be able to defend for now after that perfectly timed Graviton Surge from Link.
Izzy needs to get up and he needs to get out or needs to survive in the bitter end of this fight. You can't afford to die off here. 2 minutes left here on the attack and no ticks left to show for it. But Zio's going to be able to walk back in here with a Dragon Blade. A Nano Blade at that, Jaws. Tri-Spear is going to be hanging back with this Nano Boost. But Mouse, however, basically throwing out the EMP. Didn't find what he was looking for. The tank ultimates for Shoes Money Crew slow to be accrued, as well as Tea&Biscuits. The support line is just holding back with their defensive ultimates, waiting for the right time to keep their tanks alive.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, they've gotten the D-Mech already. Mouse somehow find that as they do take control of the cafe. A Nano Blade comes out, but a Transcendence instantly to respond. But Rotten's going to already go down. Only 100 HP on the Baby Diva. Zio's easily going to be able to secure that kill. With Link's going down as well, though. Looking good for Shoes Money Crew to begin with. Self-destruct still available from Barbecue as well, but it's all about controlling this low ground now as Colsty is going to unleash the Primal Rage, forcing that Zenyatta into the small health pack room, or the large health pack room even. And yeah, he is good as dead up against the Primal Rage and Winston. Colsty's going to secure a kill, and they eventually take the point. Did take them 3 minutes, however, but they've still got plenty of time to move through the second phase.
Oh man, an Omnic Monk versus a very angry scientist. That's not a place you you hate to see that kind of thing happen over a mega health pack. But Tea&Biscuits, they threw both of their support ultimates, Transcendence and Sound Barrier. Wasn't enough to sustain themselves on that attack and the initiation for Shoes Money Crew. During Streets phase, they do have a EMP and a self-destruct ready. It's a story told old as time. Graviton Surge thrown out by Lynx right onto the car. Gonna be a good ultimate cycle.
Self-destruct straight on top of that car to make sure everybody was going to go down. Didn't quite find any kills, but that doesn't matter. It's actually about sending a message rather than anything else. Big bio grenade though on the back line. Hits 3 members. Mouse can't quite take advantage of it just yet though. He just wants to wait for that EMP for the rest of his team to come back into the action, as Zio does have that Nano Blade available to him as well. So that's going to be the combo, I can imagine. I can't imagine we're going to see anything else. That's just kind of the name of this combo. There's the EMP on the back lines. That rally did come out from Philly. And also, Mouse is going to have to translocate backwards. And a beautiful bio grenade on the back line as well to reduce all that healing to 0. Zio's going to come out with the Nano Blade and just clean everybody up. Shoes Money Crew, they eventually get the cart through the door after they all hit the Q-key at the same time. But that's what this comp's all about. Zio coming back to that spawn room now. Could imagine a Widowmaker change. Oh no, okay. We're going to see a Doomfist instead.
I like it. You can definitely control a lot of high ground being in a lot of different places at the same time. Lynx is going to take a swap himself, going to go over to the McCree. But I got to say that aggressive hold onto the archway for Tea&Biscuits was really smart. It bought them enough time so that way they have both of their support ultimates available. While Shoes Money Crew had to throw everything in the kitchen sink out. But Mouse is still running amok in this backline, finds Mini Kunga, and he just died with Transcendence.
Oh dear. Oh, being that Zenyatta, I've been in that position so many times. When the team doesn't peel for you and you're just like, well, I guess I'm dead then. I'm just
Where's
gonna
my
go
diva?
No worries. Well, Zeal's going to go down as well, so 1-for-1 trade. Make that 2-for-1 trade as Lynx does jump over to the McCree to take care of Mouse. 60% on that EMP so far, so he's just going to be building that up quite nicely. But the problem is, Tea&Biscuits playing a little bit more aggro with this McCree. Zeal jumps in yet again. Free Deadeye for Lynx. Doesn't quite find anybody though, so Shoes Money Crew do end up running about. And they do end up running it back to spawn. Biscuits still in firm control, however. Lynx is just playing so aggro, and he should be able to with his Filion at his back with a rally.
And Tea&Biscuits go back to work. Worked out for them so well on Elios. This 2-1-3 with Lynx onto this McCree. He's not landing the biggest flashbangs in the world, but by God is he landing his shots. Colsty being able to find Valmaster onto the Villa over by point A capture. It's not necessarily the safest place to be as a Winston player. He did die with Primal Rage. He's going to be able to get back in time to contest this point. Tri-Spirit holding back with this Nano Boost, and Mao's about to have an EMP. Could be devastating for Tea&Biscuits to defend.
Oh, all this Webster and Miniconga need to do is just move out of the way of the EMP. Easier said than done more often than not, though. Self-destruct gets sent to the back line, the EMP in the front line. That will be a nano boost, but instantly use both support ultimates on top of each other. Tea&Biscuits, not quite what you wanted to do, but I can see where you're trying to go with it. Miniconga and Webster with those two ultimates down. That doesn't mean they survive for the time being, but Shoes Money Crew are going to come back with a Doomfist ultimate, and they're going to come back with a Vengeance too. Colsty popping that primal rage, maybe switching to a Reinhardt here, I can imagine. Looks like he's going to be, straight up to the Reinhardt and actually going to go 3-3 it seems. Okay, Mao's sticking it over to, not sticking, sorry. Not sticking with the Sombra, it's going to switch over to that Zaya. Okay, foregoing the 44%, they decide 3-3 is the way to go.
And that's really smart for Shoes Money Crew. Tea&Biscuits just threw 5 ultimates into that defense there. Shoes Money Crew swapping over to 3-3, trying to win a team fight without convincingly throwing all the ultimates in the world. But Barbecue holding onto the self-destruct could be the game changer. Mouse finding Lynx as an entry frag is they're going to find control of this payload, Jaws.
Oh, they do. They're going to need to. 5 seconds remaining. Mao's going extremely low. Has to back off. Ghosty finds 2, or in fact a mech and a monkey. Abyssal cleaning up Fillion as well in his like-for-like, and that was Shoes Money Crew winning out of that fight pretty handily. Tea&Biscuits didn't have those support ultimates available, so they couldn't survive through that initial sound barrier that was used by Shoes Money Crew. And already Mao 60% on that Graviton Surge, and we have Colsty at that Earth Shatter as well. This is looking disaster for Tea&Biscuits right now, as they do end up forgoing the second point. 1 minute on the clock, however.
Colsty threw down the Earth Shatter, and he got blocked by Lynx on that Zarya with the barrier. Valmaster going incredibly low, will drop down. So the payload control is going to be in Shoes Money Crew's favor for quite some time, and this is where the 3-3, the GOATs, if you will, is going to be very strong for Shoes Money Crew. They're just sitting back, stacking ultimates. Look at Mouse and all this charge. They're going to be able to kill off Miniconga as they're just pushing into the spawn room. That's free cart if I've ever seen it, Jaws. They're going to be able to hold on to this Transcendence. That way, when Lynx finally gets enough charge and throws down the Graviton Surge, they're going to be able to deal with it effectively. But Miniconga needs to be patient. Hold on to that Transcendence that's about to be wrapping around the corner because Mouse, you can see how much damage this player is putting into the team of Tea&Biscuits. You know that he has a Graviton Surge ready to finalize this map.
Right, Spear. Be careful, buddy. If you get run over, it could be game over. There's the self-destruct straight onto the back line. Webster's trying to push people into it, and the Transcendence instantly on the Graviton Surge. The self-destruct is going to find one, though. Barbecue does kill off Fillion. Both Transcendences down now for Tea&Biscuits and Shoes Money Crew. And Mouse is charging up towards another ult. Valmaster is going to get separated from the rest of his team. Ends up getting taken out by Zeo. A nice boot there from Izzy to make sure he couldn't get any response from the rest of his squad. And that will be Mouse still with like 500 HP. That rally was going on the entirety of that fight. Even a sound barrier to finish it off as well. Lynx falling is all clean up for Shoes Money Crew right now. There's Rotten's Meg. The staggers are coming through from Tea&Biscuits, but it might not be enough. Another Graviton Surge from Mouse. Chucks it at the spawn room. Why not? A meter to go. Overtime was there though, so Tea&Biscuits do have a finish line even to cross. Shoes Money Crew are going to be able to deliver. However, it took them a fair while on the first point. If they can hold off, they might just be able to outdo Tea&Biscuits for now. But will it take them just jumping onto 3-3? Because that's what really set the ball rolling for them in the second point.
And Tea&Biscuits held Shoes Money Crew for a while at that archway. It was only until they threw all 5 of those ultimates out and held on to the Fillion's rally that Shoes Money Crew was able to walk back in on that GOATs, like you were saying, and being able to quite literally snowball their way back into all 3 capture points. Mal's high charge quite literally all the time since he popped out of the gate. Giving up that Sombra was definitely a good call for Shoes Money Crew, playing a little bit more, I would say, passive-aggressive. Colsty never really plays passive with his own Reinhardt, but, you know, hey, when you're able to contain himself underneath a projected barrier from Mouse and defense matrix from Barbecue, that Reinhardt's going to stay alive for a long time. Valmaster, however, took a bitter pill going into Hollywood and became rather aggressive there in that final moment, like you would mention during the fun of that last team fight. Got very separated from the rest of his team. Wasn't able to gain none of the effects from Fillion on that Inspire or the other 2 supports from Webster and Miniconga. And although Shoes Money Crew, they won't have any time into their bank, being able to set that win condition on the 3rd capture point is still very strong as they set up their defenses. They're not going to fix what ain't broke here, Jaws. That 3-3 composition with Tri-Spear on that Zenyatta has been working very well for them so far.
Looks like, though, Tea&Biscuits maybe sniff this one out. They see that the only success that Shoes Money Crew have had on this second point, they say, okay, we're just going to go Fire. We're going to go Sombra, just try and straight up counter this. Why not? They're going to roll out the gate with that. However, no main heal for them at this point. Maybe they just use the Webster to speed out the gate and then change straight over to Mercy. We'll have to wait and see. Fillion, Lynx determined to stick on this Sombra and this Pharah. Let's see what they want to do here.
Webster and Lynx are just going to speed forward a little bit. Lynx in that stealth mode is just going to be able to scout out as much as humanly possible to see what the composition swaps need to be. They will see the GOAT's composition, so Fillion's going to be able to come back out here on this far. Webster, like you mentioned, is going to swap over to the Mercy. Rodden with a swap over to the Hamster. They're looking to bust these GOATs up, trying to get through all the armor and all the shielding that Shoes Bunny Crew brought to the table. And this is how Tea&Biscuits made a name for themselves running through. They are very good at dealing with 3-3 compositions because Fillion has been a strong Pharah in EU Overwatch for a long time.
Zeal, that is definitely not where you want to be. Takes half his HP already. Barbecue's going to find the kill onto Lynx to start off with, though. Not quite so sneaky is the Sombra. And Mouse takes out Valmaster also. Fillion, all he needs to do is build up towards this ultimate. That's all he needs to do. Rotten actually on 50% as well on the wrecking ball, so he's doing pretty well for himself. But Tri-Spear taking out Webster. There's a few old charge percentages to himself as well. 64% on the Transcendence. Not too bad after the first fight. But that barrage is coming online very soon.
Hey, here's where Tea&Biscuits fall flat on their face, however. They spend all that time trying to scout out the composition for Shoes Money Crew. Valmaster swapped from Reinhardt back over to Winston, and now it's just a chase party for Shoes Money Crew, just speeding around, just trying to find one target to jump onto, while Tea&Biscuits charging up this EMP, throwing his self-destructive in the air as Barbecue. He's trying to find anything but space. Tri-Spear again, just landing these orbs.
Beautiful EMP from Lynx, removing everything that Shoes Money Crew did actually have. Tea&Biscuits follow that up with a barrage. Even I was going to say Graviton Surge. That's definitely not what it was. But Tea&Biscuits now, regardless of that 2K, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to push it all. Fillion actually dying amidst that fight as well. The defense matrix doing a good lot of work for Barbecue there. Was able to actually kill him off in the end. So both EMP and the Rocket Barrage were used in that initial engagement. Just means that's not available for the next fight. Already we're down to 2 minutes left in the time bank.
Shoes Money Crew are doing a good job of corralling the tanks of Rodden and Valmaster, not letting them find all the space. Valmaster with a swap again. He was 30% shy to a Primal Rage. He's now going to have to start building up that ultimate again. Same thing for Rodden now. They're going to have to build up the Graviton Surge in under a minute 40, Joss. It's going to be very difficult. Webster also gave up that ult charge to the Valkyrie ultimate. Was, again, 30% shy. Over to the Pugetta is Fillion. A full composition swap on the Sombra Goats here for Tea&Biscuits on the re-entry.
Nice response to the hack there, as Kosi did end up losing his shield to the Sombra. Sombra gets killed once more, as the Translocator was nowhere to be found for Lynx. Naz ends up securing that kill, and Kosi ends up making himself a Earth Shatter as well. Like you said, Valmaster not having that Primal Rage to him because he switched over to that Reinhardt means he's going to have to start again in his ult bank. Only 35%. They still got the hack as well onto the Reinhardt, but we're unable to commit to the fight with the sound barrier and the rally that were going off at the same time.
And they're still able to hold on to that armor underneath Tri-Spear's shields for the Zenyatta. Able to get off a lot of free damage onto the tanks of Valmaster and Rodden. Here comes the Earthshatter Colsey.
There we go. There's the hack as well onto Rodden, so he can't do anything either. Colsey finds the beautiful charge kill as he does get booped up into the head to start off with. Colsey doing a little bit of Sombra checking. Can't quite find Lynx, but he does have EMP. This is their final hope here. Lynx making sure everybody knows is spamming that Z key to make sure that they have the EMP and they have that Transcendence. This is the combo that they need to hit off. If that Transcendence is anywhere gone, that might just be it. A Graviton, EMP in the back line, but there's no real follow-up there. Colsey ends up going down as they do end up running into each other. Valmaster ends up securing the kill. A Graviton Surge, but an instant EMP coming through from the side of Mouse as well. That'll be Mini Kunga falling down. Couldn't use that Transcendence, he was still already hacked. Is he taking out Valmaster as well? But Fillion taking the game into his own hands. He's only got Rotten to actually back him up as Lynx ends up rolling onto the point as well. Zeal is completely isolated and priority spawns here as well for Tea&Biscuits, so they will be able to get back to the point a lot quicker. But the problem is, Shoes Money Crew defending this with absolute zeal. In exactly that, he's on the point, using that rally, but the Transcendence finally coming out. Is there any way they're going to be able to get back onto him? Barbecue, he's coming back on the hamster himself. Overtime is ticking down, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to get it.
Zeal is going to get that shield bash onto a charging Valmaster, knock him down on the ground. Colsey with an answering charge and an Earth Shatter. Look at that sound barrier.
Received 700 HP, swinging away on the brig. There's no way Rotten was going to be able to get back to the points. Switches over to the emergency Doomfist, but Shoes Money Crew end up holding on first of all points on Hollywood. End up taking the victory and secure, well, going to a draw even on 1-1. I was going to say take the lead. That's not the right case at all. It's going to a 1-1 in the series.
Definitely going to be able to sit a little pretty going into the half here, Jaws, and that's where you want to be as Shoes Money Crew, a little bit of a higher seed, if you will, not wanting to give up their contenders' hopes too early on, but Tea&Biscuits walked into a candy store and didn't know what heroes they wanted to play, not being able to build up their ult economy efficiently and walking to that point to even capture it, more or less even gain a tick.
That ending EMP after EMP, I'm like, surely they've done it now. Surely. No.
Had to have.
Because Transcendence instantly died because the Zenyatta died as well. Minikunga couldn't activate it. And I said those were the two things that they needed to keep alive. Minikunga got taken out instantly after the EMP went off when he was in the grab. Awful timing, unfortunately, by Minikunga. And that will lead the series to be 1-1. Still, hopes and dreams are alive for Shoes Money Crew. If they do win this series, they will be making their way to Contenders. We're going to jump to the Analysts, though, and they're going to break down that game even further.
Guys, this is nail biting so far. We are currently on Shoes Money Crew, Tea&Biscuits. LaFon, I want to start with you talking about Ilios Lighthouse. You had some things to say about the compositions. How did they set the precedent for the outcome of that game?
I mean, one of the most interesting things is the way they actually started off on it. It was Lighthouse the first stage, and they're running, Shoes Money Crew was running that Doomfist Somber composition, something that I believe my co-analyst has a little bit more to say about a little bit. But into that, they were running into Lynx's McCree, and one thing that was happening for Shoes Money Crew is they were unable to really win out the tank war, and on top of that, Lynx is just left completely unpressured on the high ground, able to roam around at will, essentially, and shred their team on Lighthouse specifically. And Shoes Money Crew, they switched to the tank composition after that, 3-3, to try and find themselves a little bit more space. They just were unable to outplay the tanks on Tea&Biscuits' side. So Tea&Biscuits warming up pretty early on Lighthouse.
Kenobi, sorry, you had a lot to say about Zeal's Doomfist play. How would you have liked to have seen him come out with that?
Not at all. So when I see Zeal play Doomfist, I think his Genji is really good. His Brigitte is really good. But his Doomfist, I have a lot of issues with in the way he plays it. There are very few good Doomfists in Contenders Trials. You have Hardest and you have a couple of others who are really, understand the movements of that character. But whenever Zeal goes to that Doomfist, he just looks lost because he's going into the backline. He's not doing anything. He's standing afar, just hitting his shotguns. As Doomfist, you want to really go in. But when he's going in, he's not using his movement correctly. And he's just getting bopped by Brigitte. He's getting bopped by the rest of the team. And he's just giving them a 5v6. So I really want to see him not play that Doomfist. I want to see him play that Genji. When he's on Genji, it looks so much better. He understands the movements of that character. When he's on Brigitte even, it looks a lot better. The Doomfist is just not the play here, because whenever they run it, they seem to just stop. It took them about 2 minutes to get that point on Hollywood B, when it was just him sitting there on the Doomfist and not really doing anything. When they switched over to the Brigitte, they did a lot better of a job. So I want to see more of the Genji and the Brigitte rather than seeing this Doomfist, because Doomfist is an OP hero if you know how to use him correctly.
Well, one thing that we did see Shoes Money Crew doing quite well was managing to catch out Valmaster on Hollywood. But how are they actually managing to do this?
I think the way that they were doing it, the way that they tried to really do it, was Valmaster was playing a very heavily aggressive style, just to say. And when you're going up against someone like Tri-Spear on that Zenyatta, who is just going to tag you with Discord every single time, you're not going to be able to live, right? Tri-Spear and the rest of Shoes Money Crew are very, very cognizant in the way that they understand that Valmaster's going in. If we can just burst him down, that's a main tank gone. And as we know, main tank is one of the most important things in this meta. And if you're losing that early in the fight and it's a 5v6 where you don't have either the Winston bubble or that Reinhardt shield, you're going to lose a lot of sustain.
LaFon, going into the next map, which will be the Assault map, what would you like to see coming out from Shoes Money Crew? How would you like to see them change how they're going about this? Because they have to win this series to make it into Contenders.
Yeah, for sure. And we are actually going to go to Hanamura as our next map, so it's going to be interesting. The thing that we're going to see, and it's going to go directly to what Kenobi just said, Doomfist Sombra is pretty prevalent on that first point defense. I'm interested to see if Shoes Money Crew is going to keep running that, or if they're going to change it up a little bit, see that it's a little less effective in how they've been specifically going, and change that aspect of their style. I'm not sure beyond that they, like, the Genji Sombra has been very effective for them so far. in previous matches, not so much here today. Zeal only played it for about 1 point. They have to be a little bit more clear on how they want to actually go in on that, and if they're going to keep running that tank composition too. There's a lot of question marks for Shoes Money Crew. I think for them, it's going to have to be consistent as opposed to just switching things up the moment something goes wrong.
And Genji Somber is what they use to, beat Copenhagen Flames, that team that, we kind of we see as like Eagle Gaming 2.0, and they use that a lot. So I definitely think it's going to be seen here on Hanamura.
Well, we will see for ourselves, but for now, we'll throw back to our casters, Panda and Jaws, to take it away.
Thank you very much, guys, over on the desk, because I quickly unmute myself. Let me know that I was muted. Here we go, Panda. Third game of the day right now. And the analyst test did mention it. They said, you know what? We're seeing a lot of 3-3, and that's what's successful for the side of Shoes Money Crew. We saw that a lot on the first map on Ilios, but we were imagining we were going to see that anyway. 3-3 does work on the King of the Hill maps more often than not, but Hanamura, not a map you usually see 3-3 on unless you're on the offense. On the defense, you can do a variety of things. On the offense as well, you can switch up to things like Soldier, these long-range hit scans that can really take control of this high ground as well. What do you think we're actually going to see running out of for Shoes Money Crew here on the defense?
I think that's one of the most exciting parts about this, where the game is currently stated at, Jaws, is that you can do a multitude of compositions in a very efficient fashion. But Shoes Money Crew, on their defense, they've been collectively trying to run this dive defense that you're seeing on your screen. To play spoil, especially to my good buddy Kenobi. Sorry, man. Zeal's going to be coming back out here on this Doomfist because they know that Tea&Biscuits have also been loving to play this 3-3 composition. They probably are trying to hard read Tea&Biscuits coming out here on their attack, more or less expecting that Filion will be playing the Brigitte, and Zeal on that Doomfist looking to stop that Brigitte dead in her tracks. No shield bash being available equals a dead Reinhardt, and if Valmaster keeps playing as aggressive as he has been, it's going to be very good for Shoes Money Crew on this dive defense to be very strong. However, something that we also saw in those previous matches, or those previous maps of Ilios and Hollywood, Jaws, is that Tri-Spear was left open to a lot of good dives, whether he was soloed out by a DPS or just dove by Rodden and Valmaster. He needs a little bit more back there. We had jokingly spared about it being support mains ourselves. Sometimes you just need a little peel in the back line, maybe you just need a little love, and then your tanks get some heals. It's a beautiful circle that Overwatch really is at that point.
Yeah, you keep me alive, and I'll keep you alive. That is the circle of Overwatch. Unfortunately, more often than not, it's like the DPS just kill people, and then we just die regardless. Like, it just happens, man. It's no worries. If you get the job done, you get the job done. A bit more of a hybrid dive here coming through Tea&Biscuits, using that Hammond, and then they've got the Brigitte as well, just going to jump straight onto the point already, taking no prisoners. 35% already taken away, added on to the old bank of Filion there. However, a bio grenade did perfectly land on top of it, and Mini Kunga, so a quick and easy kill coming through for Colsty. However, a 1-4 trade is going to net Tea&Biscuits with a little bit more of an advantage than Shoes Money Crew, having those shorter respawns. Now it's taken out Valmaster, though, could be a sign that they need to actually go for this re-engage. There you go, another kill for Mouse as well. 70% already on that EMP. Looking pretty good for him. Zeal as well, playing a little bit more defense, was able to go in pretty hard and kill off Rotten at the end.
The Tea&Biscuits, they come out on this, they're tipping their hat to the Overwatch World Cup team for South Korea. They're trying to come out here on the solo tank, Hamster, trying to make Valmaster come back out here on his fighting game championship experiences on Doomfist. Mini Kunga on the Brigitte. Their only healer is Webster on this Lucio, which is very interesting because Shoes Money Crew are already prepared for it. They got Mals on the Sombra ready to EMP them.
Ooh, Lynx almost landed that post bomb, but not quite. Valmaster and Filion are already going to go down as Colsty got nano boosted to start the fight off. A hack onto Rotten leaves him with no defenses whatsoever. Can't use that shield, but that minefield already doing a little bit of work. Barbecue is going to go down. Zeal is trying to find his next target as the Meteor Strike is activated. Wants to go for a little bit more defensive play, it seems. Oh, Brigitte narrowly getting out, and the mines end up finishing him off regardless. Tea&Biscuits still with control at this point. Have already acquired a tick. Colsty has to get out of dodge rather quickly as he did kill off Webster. That should be the full cap here for Tea&Biscuits.
Yeah, Tea&Biscuits got a free tick off that first initiation. I think his Shoes Money Crew was much like myself. I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at, and I don't think that Zeal was quite ready for what he was juking himself into. Wishes that he could take back that seismic slam right back into the mine from Rodden, but they're coming back on here trying to create a snowball opportunity. Gonna have Lynx's pulse bomb. Filion's Dragon Blade is gonna make the difference. The Shoes Money Crew, they have a handful of ultimates ready to stop it. The Izzy's Transcendence this is going to be the biggest spoiler, but that is a huge EMP.
That is a big EMP. You see Philly in there kind of dip down, saw the EMP go off. Then absolutely not. Jumped away instantly. Didn't want to use that Dragon Blade in the fight. But however, Mini Conga using that rally to try and stay alive as Barbecue ended up killing him off in the end. So maybe a little bit of a forced one. That EMP perfectly timed from Mouse though. They have got a couple ults to work with and they've got that nano boost as well, which did secure them the first fight on the first point. So we'll probably see with Colsty being the recipient of that, but they've got to worry about that blade first and foremost.
And Tea&Biscuits are going to take that swap over to the True Dive. Minikunga going over to the Zenyatta with Philly and Link staying on the Genji Tracer respectively. But Rodden's going to swap over to the Diva with Valmaster onto the Winston. So we got a couple good tanks in play. They just need to find their way into that backline and get that nano boost out of Tri-Spear, but they need to be careful. Barbecue on the self-destruct can be created a lot more space for Colsey, that primal raid, to find his way into the backline of Tea&Biscuits.
There's the beat onto 5 members. Villian wasn't there to actually get it. There's a self-destruct on the bridge. Does manage to kill Valmauster. They're not going to go in for that blade. Is instantly hacked was Villian. Mouse just pays his dues, end up taking out the Genji. And that will be Colsey finishing a couple of people off as well. Lynx goes for a quick reset. Tea&Biscuits going to have to go again.
And Tea&Biscuits, they might be trying to set themselves up for that proverbial ult bank just to tap into that big 6-pack of ultimates just to be setting up promptly on any assault map is good to have, especially for Hannibar. Such an enclosed space. You need to be there as a full team. You need to use your ultimates effectively. But full swaps coming across the board. Webster now onto this Mercy. Lynx coming back on here on his McCree was very strong so far through the series. Looking to create some of that magic again. Fillion will be coming out onto the Brigitte. The Shoes Money Crew, however, they're still playing around with that ult economy. They're about to have a rally and the nano boost on the Colsey right now.
Hey Colsey, what's good? He's just going to run through that corridor, just zapping everybody up with that nano boost. Fillion's going to go down first. Look at that damage coming out from Colsey. Zeal pushes himself forward as well. Picks up 2 kills. Easy sweep of the board by Shoes Money Crew. They end up finding a quick team kill. Tea&Biscuits, at least they get a quick reset. They still have 3 minutes and 35 seconds to.
And this is where the attacking team kind of sits themselves, right? It's just like, oh, well, we got this ultimate out from their team. Well, now we're going to be able to walk in with our ultimates. Well, now Mouse has a EMP, and Colsey is about to have a primal rage by all of that damage he just did. Underneath the armor that Zeal just popped out from that rally, Izzy is getting a lot of good heals off as well, is getting this sound barrier very quickly. Huge EMP again, didn't die off.
Lynx actually right-clicked her when she was in Viz, but it didn't matter because the EMP still went off. Everybody in the front line just gets eviscerated. Oh dear. I wouldn't want to be Valmaster in that situation. All the way halfway up the corridor, gets EMP'd, realized he's pretty much good as dead. Another minute has been shaved off the time bank of Tea&Biscuits there. So, Shoes Money Crew still hot on the defense. They do have that primal rage and nano boost available to them as well. Tri-Spear, by the way, is just so safe on this Ana more often than not. They have so much protection for her in the Lucio speed boost. They've got Zeal as well, is able to kite for her. It feels good to be Tri-Spear right now, and you can see exactly how their team is, how the backbone of their team ends up working out. Tri-Spear, nano boost, and Colsey could be the next fight winner for them, but Lynx has got that Deadeye again.
The Tea&Biscuits being able to walk back in here, they probably find a different corridor, but Izzy flying through the air, gonna get a sound barrier and all of his friendlies. Just another ultimate to tap into. Self-destruct to come out from Rodden, doesn't find anything but free space, and Shoes Money Crew, they just free corral on the point. Zeal gonna pop out the rally.
Yeah, he's gonna pop out that rally. Lynx trying to do as much work as he can, but all that armor stacking up for Tea&Biscuits this time around as well. The rally does come out from Philly, and also this is exactly where Lynx wants to be. Unleashing the ult. Can he get anything? Defense Matrix didn't quite find anything as he didn't end up pulling the trigger, but Colsey receives the primal rage. The nano boost, sorry, once again. Will be an EMP on the side of the point. I'm not entirely sure how many people that did end up catching, but it might not even matter. When he kind of goes extremely low, that armor disintegrated right in front of his very eyes as Colsey did end up taking him out. However, straight into a flashbang he lands, and that'll be Lynx picking up the kill with the headshot. Self-destruct on the point to try and clear a little bit more space from Tea&Biscuits. They end up finding a kill onto Barbecue, and now Lynx just setting up. One tick has been acquired for Tea&Biscuits already.
Yeah, Colsey did die off with the primal rage, would have been the difference maker, and giving 2 ticks or not, is going to be able to come back out from the spawn and pop it, so they're going to be able to set up a staggering defense here, but Tri-Spear dying off early coming out of the spawn is very difficult for Shoes Money Crew.
Colsey ends up going down. Lynx again with the dead eye. He's going to get knocked off, but it doesn't matter. Only just managed to clear Barbecue there at the very end. 2 ticks, about 90% now, but Mouse jumping onto the Tracer, trying to just escape Fillion, doesn't want to get one shot, and he needs to be able to just dodge around to buy as much time as he possibly can. He is going to swat out Mini Conga, and that self-destruct once again used on the point to create more space. Zeal falls once more as he's going to have to come back from spawn, but Tri-Spear making it
Can't
back
do
in
it,
time, but can't do anything. Almost had the nano boost as well, but it wasn't quite enough. Tea&Biscuits end up completing round number 1 with just under a minute to spare.
Shades all the way back from well on Ilios, the first map of the series. Lynx comes back out on the McCree, hangs out on the back line. I almost thought it was a quite bit of a misplay getting off of the high ground from that Deadeye, but boy, is he making that Peacekeeper. All 6 of those shots really count. He's finding good flashbangs onto the enemy Brigitte with follow-up shots, definitely making up for missing that kill onto the EMP from Mouse earlier on, but Tea&Biscuits, they don't give up easily. They kept on forcing themselves up on that top right corridor for the attacker's side, regardless of being EMP'd and nano boosted, monkeyed in their face time and time again. They find their way into the point by way of Rod and self-destruct, pull out the right amount of ultimates, and just play their good, clear, vanilla Overwatch. Lynx is showing us why we continuously talk about him on this hit scan Heroes. His McCree is very clean, being able to cycle through a second Deadeye on that point. But the biggest play for me personally was the flashbang as Colsey ended up jumping to the bridge of point B, flashbang and bursted down. Didn't have an opportunity to pull out his Primal Rage. If that Primal Rage came out earlier on, probably would have been a different spell for a staggered defense to Shoes Money Crew, and Tri-Spear could never get set up. We talked about how he was so just very formidable getting those heals off in the backline of Shoes Money Crew, and then all of that free space just dissipated as Tea&Biscuits just rolled onto the point by way of Discord, Brigitte, and Lynx's McCree. So as they're setting up their defense here again, Jaws, we don't really see too much of it. We made a comment as the map was starting off, but this 3-3 defense is kind of a high-risk, high-reward kind of type tactic.
I just want to see Lynx back on the McCree. It just
Right.
seems to working out for him. He did a fantastic job on Ilios, continuing doing a fantastic job as well. He did put himself in a low ground situation. I can't remember if he got knocked off, but he normally wants to stay up on the high ground as the McCree to get the Deadeye. But regardless, Shoes Money Crew now on the offense. Going for a little bit of dive here. Genji, Sombra, not too much of a surprise with Tri-Spear to back them up on the out.
And Malice onto the Sombra has been pretty quiet so far on this hero in particular today. They see what they have in Tea&Biscuits. They run all the way back right to the spawn and say, hey, you got 3 supports and 3 tanks. We can do that too. Our spawn room's a whole lot closer, and this might be favorable for the attacking team as they are able to take this fight accordingly and speed right into Valmaster, who's already very low.
Oh, not where you want to be. Mao is already getting about 100% charges. Just going to tear through the mech of Rotten. However, Mouse is going to go down regardless. Lynx takes that opportunity to get a couple of kills for himself and is going to be able to chase that barbecue too. Not where you want to hide barbecue at all. Just sacrifices another 10% to Lynx's ult bank. Quick team fight win for Tea&Biscuits, but Shoes Money Crew able to reset fairly quickly.
Just when you think that Lucios and Yada and Brigitte are very low heals, for sure, you don't have a main healer for Tea&Biscuits. The armor pack, the Harmony Orb, and the Amp It Out from Webster all on Valmaster kept him alive, and he's about to have an Earth Shatter in the middle of this next fight. Lynx is still high charge. He's going to be able to walk in here with the Graviton Surge for the defense very promptly. Mouse got all that charge, but didn't get the ult charge to back it up. So Tri-Spear's Transcendence might have to be used sparingly just to walk onto the point here, Jaws.
Nice shield bash, but instant response from the shield there, coming through from Mouse. Graviton Surge available to Lynx, but he wants to wait for that Transcendence to go away first. He does chuck it in the end. That Transcendence is going to survive for the entirety of that Graviton's Transcendence, Graviton's duration even. And that'll be an easy clean-up for Tea&Biscuits. They were able to negate that completely. Lynx, having all that armor in the world as well from Filion, rally at the end of it all is going to enable them to be almost unkillable to start this one off.
And glowing up like a darn Christmas tree is key. And that tracking that we were talking about, still being able to be effective here for the Zarya player, being able to charge up this Graviton Surge, just punishing the tanks as they walk back in. Self-destruct to come through from Rodden's going to be able to clean up this fight yet again, Jaws.
Yeah, easy double kill for Rotten. You can see Colsey was nowhere near the rest of his team. They ended up speeding around the left-hand side. Colsey went just ever so slightly over to the right. Had to put a shield up for the self-destruct, unable to protect the rest of his team, and that was all because Shoes Money Crew didn't have that dealer with him. Barbecue was staggered so late into that fight that Shoes Money Crew were literally just running in 5v6 in order to try and rescue Barbecue.
And they got the self-destruct out, so they're going to be able to walk back in underneath Zeal's rally and be able to take this space accordingly, saving Izzy's sound barrier for the right moment in time. And Colsey, playing Devil's Advocate, needs to find a big Earth Shatter if Tea&Biscuits want to be pushed to point B.
Grandmaster going fairly low. He does end up shattering the floor. The charge didn't connect at all. He ended up hitting the pavilion. However, has a nice shield coming through onto Valmaster to stop that self-destruct, killing him off. Mouse has his Graviton Surge of his own. Little bit more defensive this time as it lands on top of himself. do Graviton Surge maybe looked at using. Quite see that. It was a cluster of a lot of abilities. Hey ho, if you can make sense of that, you're doing a better job than me. Mouse ends up finding 2 kills though as the self-destruct is launched off towards the center of Shoes Money Crew, but a nice couple of shields again just saves the entirety of the team. Mouse using the opportunity to gain a lot of charge and hopefully the point as well as he finds the D-Mech and finds the kill onto Rotten and even a kill onto Lynx. Finally, Shoes Money Crew able to push through onto this first point and get the cap.
A microwave in individuals is Mouse, and this is what we wanted to see out of this player in particular. We saw Sombra, we saw some McCree play, but his Zarya play in particular has been a standout for me. When he is blowing up like he is right now, gets a lot of good charge and a lot of good damage off. Now Shoes Money Crew is going to be able to walk back in here with their ultimates that they have accrued off of that last fight, and they could set up a potential snowball possibility of 4 minutes, 15 seconds to attack point B.
Yeah, but look at the change here. Webster's actually jumping over to the Ana instead to try and land this big bio nade. Problem is, there was been spoke about the entirety of this match in this game, is that Barbecue's going to have to just be so careful how he uses his defense rating because it doesn't get eaten. That could very easily be a team fight win for the side of Shoes Money Crew. That'll definitely look like it as well. The big shatter ends up landing on the Foul Master. However, a Graviton Surge throws off a self-destruct. Not where you want to be. Barbecue finds one. Billion is going to go down. Shoes Money Crew with a rally also. They're going to be able to climb onto this point with another Graviton Surge, letting another couple of kills. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining as Sagas come out for Tea&Biscuits.
And Stagger's gonna not be able to make it out here in time. Too many members on the point with staggering kills. The Shoes Money Crew being able to set themselves up for a nice defense here. Tea&Biscuits will have 1 minute to make one attack here onto point A and see how much time or how much percentage they are able to get. 3 minutes and 50 seconds. That's a pretty darn good time bank coming out of Hanamura, especially when they almost got completely full held there on point A, fighting their way back in and setting a snowball up onto point B. Shoes Money Crew is absolutely firing off on all cylinders. They're a little bit late to the party. The cylinders might have misfired here and there as the engine started revving, but boy, oh boy, have they finally found their stride. Mal's going to come back out here on the defending Sombra. Could be smart because Tea&Biscuits have only been playing 3-3 on this map so far, Jaws, but they need to be careful. Mini Conga on this Zenyatta has literally been the difference maker for Tea&Biscuits on this defense. Whether it was Webster swapping over to the Ana and taking pressure away from Mini Conga, his Orbs of Destruction have been very valuable, playing as that third DPS. But he's going to go ahead and just play with my heart a little bit as they're going to come out on attack. Probably going to be true goats. Don't want to be missing any games because Tea&Biscuits, again, to go back to the pre-show note, they want to play spoiler to Shoes Money Crew. They don't want Shoes Money Crew to make it into Contenders with a smile on their face.
Well, and on their side also, you've got to think about the situation for them. They're going to want to show off their individual prowess on every single hero. So running true goats here, normally you can't pick out an individual member, but definitely already Mini Conga been showing up, like you said, and even Fillion also on the Genji and on the Brick. However, Lynx just popping off on McCree, and he's going to do exactly the same on the Zarya, I can imagine. However, dive here for Shoes Money Crew, as they do have Mouse and Genji. So, Zeal is going to be able to put up that blade pretty quickly. Hitting those chunky targets with those shotguns is going to be pretty easy for him, but Lynx is going to be more than safe in the majority of these fights. He's going to have to use those shields extremely careful, though, as soon as Zeal does get that blade.
My God, bro, it's gotta be so scary for Zeal to try to find a dash into. Like, when you get a dash into a Brigitte, a Moira, and a Zarya, no thank you. I will opt out of that dive, but Zeal is still trying to find his way in there. Tri-Spear is gonna get a decent amount of heals off, so they're gonna go a little even here for ult charge. They're gonna be setting up for this defensive Nano Blade, giving space for Tea&Biscuits to get onto the point and just pounce on him as Shoes Money Crew.
Well, 10 seconds remaining now. They're going to have to do a little something. There's a big bio grenade actually onto the front line. That hit 2 people. Lynx can't even cleanse it with his own shield. Does manage to find the cleanse onto Valmaster, though, the more important target. The Coalescence fairly early on is going to eliminate Zeal. 5% towards that Dragon Blade also, and he's not going to be able to use it in this fight. Shoes Money Crew might have just given up the point right here and now. Lynx is at 100% charge and has that Graviton Surge. They're going to be able to cap the point and have a lot of ults to work with in the next fight. They've got Rally, they've got Grav, and they're going to have Self-Destruct also.
And they only threw the Coalescence there, too, and that's my point exactly. Zeal having a hard time finding where he wanted to dive. Look at Lynx blowing up like a darn Christmas tree. Throwing in here, gonna walk forward, throw out the Graviton Surge right in front of the door.
Oh, right in front of the door. Mouse has got that EMP, but it didn't
Self.
matter. Rotten finds 2 and finds the Meg. Zeal with a Desperation Blade jumps straight onto the point, but with 5 seconds remaining, there's still 5 members alive for Tea&Biscuits. Fillion went down. He did get EMP'd, so wasn't able to get that rally off. Colstein now trying to make sure he can survive for as much time as possible. They only need people to step off the point, but this 3-3, even with 5 members remaining, is so punishing to try try and get off. Zeal with the emergency doom. Biscuits instantly shattered as soon as he touches point. One tick already acquired. A self-destruct in midair isn't going to quite do anything as Barbecue gets the remake, but another coalescence is going to come out as well.
Yeah, and Zeal giving up the Dragon Blade to come out here on that emergency Doom Fist to no avail underneath the armor from Philly and Tea&Biscuits, and another Graviton Surge from Lynx. So much damage getting done by this player in particular, and just barely getting back to the point of Choose Money Crew, but to no avail. Tea&Biscuits get 2 more points to their capture points, so it's going to be 4-2 as the 3 minutes and 50 seconds starts now for Choose Money Crew for their attack.
Just run goats, Forehead. That's exactly what they should be doing right now, because capping the third point for 15 seconds to spare, having 3 ults, and then running in, even losing Philion with that rally, they were still able to make it home. Choose Money Crew didn't really have the tools that tools equipped in order to actually deal with that on the defense. The Sombra couldn't really get any ult charge off. Like, Zeal had 95% on the blade when he went down. They were really looking for that big EMP into the Dragon Blade. Just couldn't make it work even on last point. They were so staggered that Mouse was forced to use that EMP, and then the Dragon Blade came out only a little bit later because he died so early on. Choose Money Crew couldn't quite make it stick. However, 3 minutes and 50 seconds in their time bank to make their second.
Yeah, you say just play goats, Forehead. I say just land big biotic grenades, because that's one of the biggest things that you can possibly do to shut down a goats attack. Tri-Spear didn't come up with any of those, and we were speaking about Barbecue having to eat those biotic grenades. Well, it was actually Rodden that was showing off here today onto the Diva play. Really utilizing all of those 2 seconds that Defense Matrix is up for, finding way into the point and landing that big self-destructive combo along with Lynx. And we just can't speak enough about this player in particular. Lynx has been showing up here, whether it was Miss Cree or really impacting the match here on his Zarya, getting a lot of good charge off from the aggression of Valmaster, and just this team of Tea&Biscuits really showing us why they are a top contending team. Though they won't be able to make it into contenders, they are making a lot of good showcasing why you need to keep your eyes on them.
Well, Choose Money Crew now get the chance to attack. Are going for Goat as expected. Mal's already going down though, and with Zeal falling also. Quick reset for Choose Money Crew. Just die, just run into them. You don't need to do anything else. Barbecue gets a little bit more charge, but he comes up fighting 2 kills. Barbecue got knocked so high up in the air, it looked like he could kind of jump over that wall, but there was an invisible barrier there, so he couldn't quite get it. Gets staggered a little bit, but Valmaster already has Shatter.
Valmaster just getting the ability to walk so far forward underway the defense matrix. Rodden did have to pay for it with his mech, but Lynx with the projected barrier to keep Valmaster alive that much further. Rodden's going to be able to come back in here and going to be able to get back onto a mech, but Choose Money Crew, they didn't have a good attack. They have no charge whatsoever. How'd he get over there? How'd he get over there?
Posty, luckily enough, gets hit with a shatter. Philion comes in to the rescue, picks up 3 kills of his own. Man, Valmaster got snuffed out so quickly, but luckily, Tea&Biscuits were able to speed boost and help him out in the end. Valmaster with a good shatter there, wants 2 people.
Valmaster putting on a really good show, just showing us how deep a Reinhardt can go until it's too late and he's got to pull out that Earth Shatter just to save himself and the fight. Tea&Biscuits going to be able to play around with this rally and a Transcendence momentarily, but the real story is Lynx nearing the Graviton Surge. If they can combo with Rod and Self-Destruct again, Choose Money Crew is going to have that much harder of a time finding their way into point A.
Well, a rallying is going on for Tea&Biscuits, so they're going to be able to push forward with that. And they still have that Transcendence too, and Lynx has almost got himself another Graviton Surge. Perfect timing for Tri-Spear to use that ult, because now Lynx gets a free grab, pings everybody to the rock. No eating grabs Barbecue just yet. Self-Destruct is going to eliminate a couple of those shields, and Mao's now just trying to run back, using that Lucio speed boost. They can't do anything right now as Colsty was spawning, as he does have that shatter available to him, but they just have to wait for him to come back in. They're going to make a quick re-engage, and 1 minute 40 seconds remaining. They're going to be able to touch that point.
And it didn't kill off Mouse either, so he's just walking back into this point with Colsey on this, with the Earth Shatter underneath all of that charge. 10% shy to a Graviton Surge for Mouse here as the recontest comes through for Tea&Biscuits.
Zeal already going down, Transcendence a little bit late, but that Graviton Surge laying on top of it, along with the 2 sound barriers. Okay, that's a lot of support ults being used straight away. Choose Money Crew does get knocked to the ground, however, by Valmaster, who nets himself another shatter in amongst that fight. Already now Tea&Biscuits all on fire with their Graviton Surge of their own. Lynx is just building these up so quickly. Won every single fight right now for them. 1 minute remaining for Choose Money Crew to make this push. If they do not make this push right now and win it, Tea&Biscuits will be on match point in the series.
And this is where Tea&Biscuits, their defensive favor is going to play into effect, is that Lynx is so much charge, he didn't die off in that fight. Well, Mouse has to work to get all that charge back to build another Graviton Surge. Tri-Spear will have a Transcendence to combatant against Lynx's Graviton Surge. Graviton Surge is going to come out momentarily, but Philion with all this armor for Tea&Biscuits is going to be the difference maker.
And Tricer
Grab
as
that
well
Eden.
does have that Transcendence. Graviton Surge gets Eden, but will it matter? Mouse gets booped off the edge, and the Transcendence just to keep the Zenyatta alive as the self-destruct landed onto the point. With Mouse going down here, that's a lot less defense for the side of Shoes Money Crew, and Link still pushing forward, just carving his name into Tri-Spear. 23 seconds now remain. Barbecue's not going to have to let him get himself get staggered here. Izzy just needs to die on the point. Die extremely fast, and you're going to be able to reset even quicker. Oh dear, looking pretty worse for wear of Shoes Money Crew right now. 10 seconds now remain. They're going to have to go for this. They're going to have to go for this touch.
Gonna have to try to speed onto this point by any means necessary. Yo onto the hamster just to make it there in time, just will barely do so. And now Barbecue coming back here onto the Tracer just to try to work a stagger onto point A. Nobody from Shoes Money Crew is going to be able to solidify themselves onto this point. Tea&Biscuits are too strong. The Transcendence to close out the map here, Jaws, and Tea&Biscuits putting themselves one map further to play spoiler against Shoes Money Crew.
Oh, another grab to seal the deal. Link's gonna be able to earn himself another one. 3 out of 3, 4 out of 4, 5 out of 5 fights. I think that was for Lynx for the grabs. Shoes Money Crew end up going down again, and that will be match point for Tea&Biscuits. Not looking good for Shoes Money Crew right now. They need to win another 2 maps in a row, get this reverse sweep in order to make it to Contenders. Tea&Biscuits doing a good job and just making sure their names are known.
I think this is one of the things that we can put into effect here. Shoes Money Crew, they have everything to lose by not walking away with a victory here, while Tea&Biscuits, they have everything to gain. Sure, they can't make their way back into Contenders, but they are making a lot of good scouts proud out here, especially Lynx. If you're looking for a good DPS that can flex over to that Zarya, look at this boy over here. He is going absolutely bonkers on these heroes in particular when he's given the space to do so. Shoes Money Crew, however, feel a little bit of that pressure, if you will. They're not able to find the kills that they want, not being able to play the game as effectively as they would want to. A little bit of desynchronization, missing a few charges there from Colsty. Was Shoes Money Crew not being able to give Mouse that everlasting charge for the overlonging damage to build Graviton Surges like Lynx. And I think that's the story that we need to continue to look at here, Jaws, is who's impacting the match more, especially for Mouse and Lynx. And I would give it to Lynx at this point.
Yeah, definitely so. We'll have to wait and see if Tea&Biscuits can just solidify the series at 3-1, or can Shoes Money Crew just get their reverse sweep. They're going to need to pull something special out here on the next map. We're going to find that out very, very shortly, though. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. We'll see you in a bit.
I met you on a Friday, downtown Avenue Way. I didn't know that you were gonna be my getaway. I swear I never learned, can't live without the burn. So I light it up and feel the rest. Here's how you wanna be remembered. Feeling blue on side streets, cold like December. Is this what you came so far for? And I know you're worth more. So why don't we go and leave the city and drive past concrete? And I know it's so pretty, but I can't do it no more. So why don't we go and leave
Hey guys, welcome back. Shoes Money Crew versus Tea&Biscuits. Tea&Biscuits right now 2-1 up in the series. Shoes Money Crew's fate hangs in the balance of Rialto, as this game will decide if they go to Contenders or not. Their scoreline right now, only one. They need to secure the next 2 maps in order to make that dream come true. But Tea&Biscuits looking pretty strong coming out of the gate. That defense on Hanamura holding Shoes Money Crew at first in almost a 4-minute time bank. Just incredible.
That's legendary. They did it 2 times over as well. Shoes Money Crew took almost 2 fights on point A their first time around just to solidify point B attack. They set up a snowball. Point B was a little more favorable for Shoes Money Crew, but this is Rialto. This is the so beautiful map in Italy. Shoes Money Crew are looking to continue off their defensive strides here for a defensive Zarya. Izzy flexing over to the Mercy, but this is what I want to see here in particular. I want to see more Mouse versus Lynx in this matchup. Mouse with the defensive Widowmaker could be very strong. Very hard to dislodge these snipers, both for Tri-Spear and Mouse. The Shoes Money Crew are setting up their defense. The Tea&Biscuits, this is Ferris Playground, is Rialto. They have a very strong Pharah main in Filion, but take a look at Lynx. Walking out of the gate on Bastion. We saw this yesterday, Jaws, and it worked out really well. But Shoes Money Crew, they're not opting in for that aggressive defense that we see a lot of teams go for.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Bastion is going to get changed up. I was kind of curious if they're going to stick it out, but more often than not, the Bastion on the defense on Rialto, you just see him just poke the head out of the gate and see if they're pulling, see if the enemy team pulling any finished strats and holding straight up against the spawn doors. But we are seeing Lynx on that, on the Widowmaker, and we are seeing obviously Mouse, like you said. So, well, it is a complete mirror matchup here. Apart from Tri-Spear on Ana and Mini Kunga on Senyata.
And it's really been paying a lot of dividends. Mini Kunga, again, landing a lot of good Discord orbs, but not as much dividends as Lynx. However, the headshot on the Zeal and then the follow-up kill on the Mouse will get space for the tanks to go forward, but Shoes Money Crew, they even it out.
Yeah, they're going to get the resurrection onto Zeal pretty damn quickly, but that gives them enough space. Mercy not healing does mean that there's little healing for the rest of the team as well. And Filion, not where you want to be, buddy, but Mouse, not where you want to be either. Lynx finds his head and finds another one as we do zip away. Izzy has ended up going to go down in the end. Barbecue finally find the revenge kill onto Lynx. Someone stop this madman. That's exactly what he did do. But Nano boost from Tri-Spear fairly early on is going to make sure that card doesn't get delivered. You can see a complete reset here from Tea&Biscuits. They want to fight Colsty in Winston's Playground, having that Nano boost going extremely aggressive.
Rialto, it's hard to be anywhere that you want to be, really. I mean, again, there's so many sidelines and passageways for Widows to find your head and absolutely gain way for the fight. Lynx and Mouse both popping their infrared sights at the same time. Colsty, however, needs to be careful. Just gets his Primal Rage and will die off from a body shot by Lynx on his way out. That's very unfortunate.
Okay, Colsty just fed a whole lot of ult charge, and that will be a resurrection onto him, so Izzy at least gets him back up and alive at the time. Looks like it was needed also, but Mouse just clicking heads. No worries. Filion and Izzy are going to go down in response. Sorry, Filion and Webster are going to go down in response, but Lynx, once again, finding his like-for-like kill onto Mouse, and this time he decides, Tea&Biscuits, you know what? We just want to kill Mouse. We just want to make sure his life is a living hell. So we're actually going to switch over to the Genji of our own. That will be Filion that, and Zeal switching over to his. So Widowmakers are going to have to be a little bit more judicious in their positioning.
It's going to come down to this to one more team fight. If Shoes Money Crew lose this next team fight, Tea&Biscuits will unlock the second phase of Rialto. But take a look at Shoes Money Crew. Barbecue in particular, playing the dive with Colsey. They're finding a lot of good pressure and readily available. And there's that Genji pick, paying dividends real early on. Going to be able to get Lynx up and out of this fight. Back to the spawn room for you. Mouse is going to be able to set up here comfortably. And now Tea&Biscuits are going to take a little bit of a composition swap here, Jaws. Double sniper. Haven't seen in quite some time here in EU Overwatch. Normally a lot more tanks played over in this region. But double sniper for Filion and Lynx looking to take a little more pressure. Oh, no, I just got played with. Now we're just going to go over to a 2-1-3 instead.
All right. Or a 1-2-3. That makes a little bit more sense. That's how numbers work.
Sure.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's just how it works.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're numbers and words.
Zeal is available, but the problem is, Colsty's already going to go down. Filion's going to take the traders. Mouse does end up finding the headshot. Zeal has got that blade in the back line, hiding around that self-destruct to make sure that D.Va can't jump on him. With that deflect falling, though, might just want to wait until that one comes back up. No, he does not. Instant nano blade, but Transcendence in answer for the side of Tea&Biscuits. He's going to try and slice away. You can't even get damage numbers on that, unfortunately. However, Mini Conquer, I think he was left clicking into the deflect. That's what it sounded like. Mouse is going to be able to find the kill onto Rotten as well. 15 seconds remaining for Tea&Biscuits. Shoes Money Crew, they might just hold him at first.
The Transcendence will not save you from a full charge Widow's Kiss from Mouse, and that is just well played out here from Shoes Money Crew thus far, forcing the spots for Tea&Biscuits. They might be able to make it back here in time with one jump, making it in. Rodden and Valmaster at the same time.
Webster somehow goes down to Barbecue, not entirely sure how that worked. Tea&Biscuits are going to be able to touch their car, start swinging around it now, but instantly onto Rod, make sure he can't go anywhere, disrupts his movement for the time, and a big fire grenade as well to finish him off. Fillion trying to get back to the point on the Brigitte, but all his team are already dead. Full holds coming through for Shoes Money.
Shoes Money Crew, they want to see this map 5 here, Jaws, with a nice hold on to point A Rialto. I swear, the Rialto only plays out 2 different ways. You either get full held on a point, not necessarily, but you get held before that capture point on point A, or you end up getting held before the capture point on point C. But here's Shoes Money Crew, they're not wanting their dreams to be suppressed quite yet. So as they're going to come out here and setting up their attack, they're going back to their tried and true dive with Mouse on that Widowmaker, just clicking heads, lull, and letting Zeal find the dives with Colsey and Barbecue, because there's so much space that's being created by the sheer just the sheer presence of Mouse on the Widowmaker, that Barbecue and Colsey can find these key dives onto Minikunga, Zenyatta, or onto Lynx himself when he was leaving himself open to do so. But that Genji swap really made the difference, in my opinion. It really helped Shoes Money Crew solidify their defense, because going back to my previous point, if Shoes Money Crew lost a single, or even I would say even like a half a team fight too, that payload was so close to capturing that point that Tea&Biscuits probably would have spelled out a different story here.
Well, now Tea&Biscuits have to take their turn in defending. 92 meters stands in the way of Shoes Money Crew, evening this series up and taking it to a map 5 to keep their hopes and dreams alive. And now what are Tea&Biscuits going to do on the defense here? That's the question. Doesn't look like they're going to roll out with double main heal with Fillion on that Farah, and we do have Lynx on that Widowmaker once more, but Shoes Money Crew doing something a little bit different here.
And Shoes Money Crew, don't forget, did pick this map because Tea&Biscuits did win the previous one, so this is going to play in the favor for Tea&Biscuits. This is much like the same reason why Tea&Biscuits always picked Eichenwald over Hollywood, because Fillion in particular. I can't stress enough how strong of a Farah player this competitive player specifically is. His hero pool plays around the projectile very, very well, but it's all way to take pressure away from Lynx. Minikunga is going to look to take Rodden and Valmaster's life into his hands, so Webster can pull on pocket Fillion and anchor back to Lynx when he feels the pressure. But take a look at Shoes Money Crew's attack. They're going for the strongest composition in the game right now, Jaws. EMP, Dragon Blade. If they build it up, they can certainly win.
Mouse goes down to Lynx. Finds the headshot. Not entirely sure how that happened, but Lynx did manage to find that kill, which will stop Shoes Money Crew from pushing for the time being. Fillion knows exactly what's going down. Ends up just pushing forward rather readily. Oh, Hunter almost takes the dunk. Not quite though. Did manage to clutch onto the ledge, and even Seal and Barbecue taken to the skies, trying to take out Fillion, but Barbecue ends up landing on the boat. He knew exactly what he was doing. But Fillion still working his way towards his own ult. However, Mouse taking out Minikunga could be a good way in for Shoes Money Crew. There's going to be very limited time for a res here, and Barbecue taking out Lynx as well. 2 kills already for the side of Shoes, and that'll be a nano boost coming in as well onto Colstein. This could be where it actually all ends. Tea&Biscuits are going to have to play so careful now, as Minikunga does end up getting resurrected. Colstein's nano boost does end up running out, and they're still going to be out cold in this corner.
Pilot Diva versus a Widowmaker. Who's going to win? I would not have taken Barbecue's Pilot Diva, but I surely will now. Tea&Biscuits going to look to set up this defense one more time as the payload is rounding about the longest corner of Rialto's history. Lynx going to be utilizing that infrared sight, building up to the next one. That is Minikunga's nano boost. Probably going to go over to Valmaster. Could end up making the difference. It's the re-entry for Tea&Biscuits.
Oh no, Valmaster got slept as he got nanoed. You can see his corpse just on the outline. Oh, see! Zeal just got a headshot out of a Dragon Blade as well. Lynx just takes his head clean off. That's what you want to see if you're on the defense right now. Lynx in a nice position also to try and contest Mound as well. They do come through that streets phase. Primal Rage pop though, fairly early on from Colstein, trying to disrupt Lynx as much as possible. That's exactly the target they need to go for, because he's just on fire right now. But Fillion with his own ultimate available to him, Colstein's going to have to be a little bit more careful than that.
He's going to have to try to keep himself alive. Like how long Lynx is just staying alive, just finding all these shots. Colstein can't lock down this elimination. Webster, the Valkyrie will burn out. And Minikunga is about to be halfway to another nano boost, but it might not matter because Tri-Spear just nano boosted Colstein one more time just to pickle his way forward and find the frags they need.
Coastal was naded as well, but the nano boost didn't entirely heal him up to full, but it doesn't seem to matter whatsoever. Shoes Money Crew now pushing around the corner. Can anybody get back in time? Filian tried to, couldn't even get the rocket barrage off. They only need people to not touch the car for a split second. 1 meter remains, and Shoes Money Crew end it in the golden box. They managed to get the cap. And that will be tying the series up as well, 2-2. One more map remains between Shoes Money Crew and a place in Contenders.
What a very exciting day it has been on this final match for EU Contenders Trials, Jaws, as we get another Game 5 solidification match. Shoes Money Crew, they need to walk away with this win so that way they can get into Contenders. And Tea&Biscuits, they have been playing a very strong, methodical game. I pointed this out a minor bit yesterday, that the way that Tea&Biscuits plays, it's very formal Overwatch. It's very high level. They may be misplaced here and there and may be losing up on some pressure situations, such as that Nano Boost Valmaster getting in and getting slept almost immediately, just a mistime from his bubble. But this team is firing off on all cylinders. You can tell that they had the damn good amount of tea this morning with a really good biscuit on the side, because they are really doing a good job of holding off Shoes Money Crew from getting into Contenders.
Well, 5th map. We'll see what map it is going to be, because it will be the choice of Tea&Biscuits after losing that Rialto map. So they could play into their favor. They could play upset right here, right now, and stop Shoes Money Crew, halt their progress from going into Contenders. We'll have to wait and find out, though. We've got a break coming up, but don't go anywhere. Map number 5 and the Decider coming up soon.
When times are down, you know I'll be with you. Your times are rough, this time I see it too. All this bullshit drama, I can see right through. Everybody wants something they can't have, so they gon' put it on you. Wherever you go, yeah, you can take me there. Over the ocean, I can see us there. Let's run away and be forever young. We'll catch the sun where there's no need to run. Wherever you go, yeah, you can take me there. 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 I see you and you see me too.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Shoes Money Crew versus Tea&Biscuits, the 5th and penultimate map in the last game of Contenders Trials over in the EU. It will be Oasis, and it's going to be the map, not of choosing. I did get that wrong, so I apologize. It will just be, it is a pre-decided map to finish us out. So, Tea&Biscuits now, have their opportunity to knock Shoes Money Crew completely off the pedestal of going to Contenders. However, Shoes Money Crew obviously doesn't want that to happen. Who'd have thought it? We'll see what they want to do, though, coming out the gate 5 seconds before it happens. Zeal may be jumping over to the Tracer. Didn't think so. That will be a double 3-3 coming out for both teams.
We said the same thing yesterday about Tea&Biscuits taking it to HSL. 5 games, trying to go to the distance. They're really making this Contenders Trials run. Really, they're just milking it out here. But coming over to Gardens, you would think that you would see more Pharah play here, Jaws. But we actually get to see mirror 3-3 compositions. Mini Conga trying to go tit for tat versus Trisphere. Who's going to land the juicier Discord orb today?
That was just doing as much damage as he can to the front line for the time being. Nice shield bash actually coming out from Zeal onto Valmaster. Instant Discord orb onto the Reinhardt, and his life is as good as done. That'll be Webmaster just trying as hard as he can right now. Webster delaying as much, but can't really escape alive. Not when you've got Tri-Spear chasing you up. We Shoes Money Crew controlling the point for the time being, and first clap goes to them.
And this is the Shoes Money Crew that we wanted to see. Very good methodical play. Not going for any fancy play with the Pharah or the Sombra, just coming out here to win. Sure, you might make it and joke around with the 3-3 composition coming out and mirroring against each other, but this is a very hard point to dislodge the GOATs as they are setting themselves up underneath all this armor that is about to come off of Zeal's rally in this next fight. Mouse is so high charged with the Graviton Surge, surely must be coming around soon.
He's got 8%, man. That's coming out very quickly. Does he have to remove that mech or remove the shield out of Valmaster's hands? However, he's got a shatter of his own. There's a rally to push everybody forwards, and he's going to fall. Not using the ult, which is fairly crucial. No one wants to use ults on the side of Tea&Biscuits right now, as they do get wiped for the second time. That'll be 40%, though, on the clock for Shoes Money Crew with 3 ults. Make that 4 and 5 coming up very shortly, as well as Posty manages to get that shatter.
And look how they won that fight too, Jaws. They only used the rally from Zeal. So they're able to tap into this ult economy very efficiently and just solo grab on the links. My god.
Okay, he's dead. There we go. Transcendence as well to push Valmaster down. Looked like there was a little bit of body collision there. A bit of body mechanics coming through. And from Tri-Spear, just pushing Valmaster's way. And there was no way he was going to be able to escape the onslaught from Shoes Money Crew. They used 2 ults. They invested only 2. They still have 3 remaining. But Lynx is going to be able to find a late pick off there on Zeal.
Mouse took one good look at Lynx, and he's like, hey, man, I haven't enjoyed facing you. I'm going to grab you into existence. But Tri-Spear threw out that Transcendence a little bit unconditionally. So now Tea&Biscuits coming back in with this rally. Could be hard for Shoes Money Crew to solidify their defense here and to keep their control meter building.
Beautiful shield there from Mouse to protect his Reinhardt when he did get shield bash. Mouse has got 50% on that grab, but not before Tea&Biscuits were able to lay out their own. That'll be Rotten taking the life of Colsey, but is he still going to be able to find the other Reinhardt in Valmaster? As Self-Destruct is going off onto the point, he does catch Zeal. Mouse was able to escape with his life for the time being, but he's going to have to do his best to just recontest here, just try and die on point and buy as much time as possible. Lynx is just farming Barbecue's mech, but they do manage to push it into overtime, just meaning that Shoes Money Crew only need to secure 1 fight here to win the game. Mouse dies fairly late on, maybe a little bit more of a mistake there. It's going to come back with 0 charge on the Zaya and not too much ready to work with. Lynx being a little bit aggressive, but he's got the rest of his team back.
Colsey, his over-aggression coming back to bite him in his rear. Just a minor bit there. Didn't want to throw out the Earth Shatter because it was 99% to Shoes Money Crew. They're going to be able to walk back in with the Graviton Surge and the Transcendence like we were just mentioning, but Zeal, this rally is going to pay a difference maker for Tea&Biscuits. However, they're going to have a rally themselves. Trying to keep that charge onto Link so that way he can build up another Graviton Surge, but the real story is how aggressive Valmaster needs to play to stop Colsey from building an Earth Shatter.
There's the grab, gets eaten though. Not entirely sure where that went. Mouse just oh dear, you gotta watch out for that Demon Matrix, man. That's exactly what Rotten needed to do, and that could be their win conditions just pulled out from beneath them. Not too soon though, as Colsey does manage to secure 2 kills. Tri-Spear as well, the Transcendence. They do have that Graviton Surge on the side of Tea&Biscuits, but they're gonna have to make a very, very swift re-engage as it is only 50% to 99 on the side of Shoes Money Crew. Armor available as well to Shoes Money Crew throughout the entire team as the rally was there, but no one was able to touch, even with ults. Tea&Biscuits end up forfeiting the first map, and Shoes Money Crew 1 map away now of making it to Contenders.
And this is so huge here, Jaws. If it goes to University, it could be the map for Shoes Money Crew to take it. It's going to be City Center. So if Tea&Biscuits opt in for that Pharah play around the proverbial nub in the middle of the point, could be difficult for Shoes Money Crew to deal with. But Shoes Money Crew, they are more than adept. Coming into Oasis, they have taken their studies. They have taken the scientific lessons that they know that the 3-3 composition is their composition to lose on. And Mouse in particular, holding on to that Graviton Surge, was the difference maker for that last team fight, though he didn't have all the charge in the world. Colsty's aggression right into the middle of it was what Choose Money Crew needed in that specific time. Tea&Biscuits, Choose Money Crew, they're not opting for any changes across the board. You can tell how bad both these teams want to win. 3-3 across the board. Mini Kunga versus Tri-Spear again. Who's got the better Discord orbs, and who's going to run over the enemy Reinhardt first?
It's all a bit about the shields as well. That's normally the linchpin of 3-3. How well the Zaya's used for shields and Mouse. Using and saving that shield more often than not for when Colsey does get shield bash. You can see right there, use of it. Just making sure no damage can actually come on him and the Discord Orb can't land either. Big Flame Strike does net a little bit of damage and a charge for Valmaster, but with Villian going down to start off with and a beautiful pin from Colsey, that'll be the fight pretty much done and over with for Tea&Biscuits. Choose Money Crew, they're going to be at to cap first.
And just marching their way forward. Look at all the damage that Tri-Spear is able to get off. He is 20% higher than Mini Kunga, about to be at 90% for his Transcendence. Definitely beating out Lynx and Mini Kunga in their ult charge. But the real story here, as they got less onto this point to capture it, Jaws, look at all the charge that Mouse has. Not to his ultimate, but inside of his Graviton Lance in himself. He's going to be able to get the Graviton Surge on the re-entry. Mini Kunga is not going to be able to get the Transcendence in time, but the Earth Shatter just stops Rodin in his tracks. Tea&Biscuits look to reassess this fight.
Yeah, Rotten was the only person that actually got hit by that Earth Shadow, so a little bit more aggressive than Colsey actually needed to be there. However, Tea&Biscuits still moving on to that point. Nice shield bash into the rally from Zeal, and the Shadow hits the ground for the side of Tea&Biscuits as well, but double Graviton Surge right on top of each other, and Transcendence from Tri-Spear and a Sound Barrier to keep them alive in this fight. A self-destruct in the back line, but Tea&Biscuits are able to corral into a group in order to stay alive. Colsey finds another Shatter, but the problem is he's already going to go down, isolated from the rest of his team, which means both Reinhardt's now dead. It's all on Mouse to act as a front line here for the rest of his squad, and Villian and Zeal end up falling. Another two pair go down, and now it's just Mouse, just so low on HP, trying to protect his team for as long as he can. Tea&Biscuits though, just hot on the aggression, just moving through the point, able to dislodge the rest of Choose Money Crew off, and eventually, and hopefully get the tick, but Colsey from downtown ends up finding a pin into Webster. Didn't quite see that one coming, and neither did Webster himself. Another pin from Valmaster takes out Colsey. Is this going to be it? I'm not entirely sure. A Transcendence again from Tri-Spirit, and another one. A Shatter coming through from Valmaster also. There's been two Shadows and two crowds in this fight already. Mouse killing off Valmaster, and someone just needs to reset. 88% now.
Seven flip the point.
Continue to hold the point, and Tea&Biscuits eventually get the flip. But another grab from Mouse might just seal the deal onto Lynx. What is even going on here? Choose Money Crew ends up winning the fight somehow and almost recapping this point.
Dust, gravity, we're throwing everything out here, plus the kitchen sink on Oasis. This is City Center at its finest, Jaws. You just throw as many ultimates as humanly possible because the team fight might as well be winnable at any given point in time, and Tea&Biscuits are trying to understand that just well. Shield bash to come through from Fillion on to Mouse. It's not going to stop his charge, however. He is still bulldozing forward on the Zarya.
Okay, interesting interesting sound barrier there from Izzy, using it at the end of the fight when two members were already dead. Tea&Biscuits go for the big reset, but 97% now is on the clock. They are going to be able to find the contest here, and Barbecue just trying to get Rotten off. No, this is our game to win. This is our contender spot. We need this right here and now. 99% is going to turn into 100, and Choose Money Crew end up finding a 2-0 on Oasis to net them a contender's spot.
And they did that more convincing than the rest of the series even offered for Choose Money Crew, Jaws. I mean, when they went through and got put through the ringer of Tea&Biscuits, coming through, winning Rialto and then Oasis in a 2-0 fashion, that is very emphatic for Choose Money Crew to go into contenders with. Big hats off to them, but I gotta give props out to Tea&Biscuits. They did a very good job this entire weekend of trying to reverse gatekeep any teams that they possibly could out of contenders, specifically HSL and Choose Money Crew. Very unfortunate that these players won't be able to continue their journey in Overwatch Path to Pro, but they definitely turned a few heads today, Jaws. I could only imagine that we'll see more of Tea&Biscuits in the near future.
Went the distance, not something that Choose Money Crew really wanted, I can imagine. They just wanted to end it with a quick 3-0, but regardless, they still have and secured that spot in contenders to now fight with the big dogs up in EU. I mean, we already know British Hurricane and we have Org have already made it. So they got a few matches of their own to kind of look forward to, and they got a few VODs to look back on as well. So that's going to be an added bonus for them. They can just pick apart Hurricanes and we have Orgs compositions and how they play a little bit further now by analyzing those. But huge congratulations to them for making it. But commiserations as well on the side of Tea&Biscuits. They've just been looking better and better throughout the weeks gone by, winning their match against HSL last week and even in week number 2. On the 21st, like they even won or narrowly lost against We Have Org. So definitely a team you've got to keep your eye out for. Individual players, you've got to keep your eye out for them as well. We're going to jump to the analysts though. They're going to break down this game a little bit more, and that is me and Panda all done.
Guys, after an absolutely nail-biting series, we now know who are going to be joining British Hurricane, We Have Org, and Bazooka Puppies up in Contenders EU for Season 3. I want to talk about that last map first because we didn't know how things were going to go. It was looking like such a slippery slope for Shoes Money Crew throughout so much of that series, and they managed to take it back on Oasis. How did they do it?
I think the way that they did it, and we had talked about it earlier in the games, the way that they ran 3-3, something about the way that they ran it on Oasis there was just so much better than they had been before. The callouts were so much cleaner. Having the ability, understanding that Reinhardt is such an important part of the tank line, just using very much the ability of the Zenyatta coming out from Trispear, who we'll get to talk about later. Trispear and just the coordination between him, Zeal, and Colsteed, just to understand that, okay, we're going to stun this Reinhardt, slap the Discord on him, bait out the Zarya enemy bubble, and then just melt down Valmaster. And after you lose that main tank in a goats v goats situation, for the enemy team, it's very, very difficult to even try and come back and mount an offense. And they just did such a good job. And I'm so incredibly impressed of the way Shoes Money Crew seemed to grow as the series went on.
It's even more beyond that. Like, it's like Shoes Money Crew, the team that we saw in the first half of the series, is not the same team that we saw at the latter half. That fifth map, nearly a different team in its entirety in terms of how they ran the composition that they chose. The 3-3 composition being the one that made it out on Oasis. I have to talk though a little bit about the tank line beyond just the main tank, because Mao's on Zarya was massive throughout the later stages of Oasis. High energy all the time. Excellent timings on the Zarya bubble, both for protection of the main tank as well as cleanses. And Trispear. The Discord orb, we know how valuable it is, but something that's an unsung part of a support's kit is their damage. And Trispear, really on top of it, we saw a lot, like in terms of ult economy, something we talked about at the beginning of the matchup, became a highlight of the end as well, because Trispear had trance very, very frequently, not just because of healing, but just the sheer amount of damage that he was doing. And of course, the Discord orb, so very, very valuable. I think across the board for Shoes Money Crew on Oasis, and one of the reasons why they're even going to be going into Contenders is how much of a team they played towards the latter half of that series. And it's going to be really interesting to see if they can keep that moving forward.
Lafon, one of the people you mentioned there was Trispear, who really was showing up this series. Now, going a little bit beyond, his performance in that last map of Oasis, what made him so valuable to Shoes Money Crew throughout this entire series, because he was a name that was coming up a lot.
I mean, to boil it down to like the most simplest of terms, he hit his shots. He's playing Ana, he's playing Zen, and a lot of the times there was a lot of moments where you'd think the fight was lost. I want to call back to Hanamura. In fact, on the first point defense there, Trispear kept the fight going and allowed Mouse to clean up. You're hitting your healing shots, you're hitting your Bionades, you're hitting the sleep darts, and on top of that, you're building your ultimate very, very quickly. So you're the playmaker on a character that is, somewhat unsung. The support is often, the one that's in the background in terms of how you talk about them, but Trispear was very, very much at the forefront just through the sheer pressure that he applied via the healing he gave. It was really, really impressive, and I think Trispear just shone brightly here in this series.
Kenobi, one of the things that you mentioned in your first answer was, how there was a lot of big main tank play going on, the importance of that. You were saying how there's been so much growth of Shoes Money Crew along this series, and one of the things that we noticed is kind of earlier on in Hanamura, Colsteed was taking quite a long time to build up his shatters. It almost wasn't the same Colsteed or an Oasis. What was going wrong for him in that map?
Colsty was just playing a little bit too aggressive, and I think definitely Colsty at the end of this should treat Tri-Spear to a barbecue dinner, just a steak dinner. Just get him filet mignon, the most expensive stuff on the menu, baked potato with all the trimmings, because Colsty really in that first on Hanamura specifically was doing very odd, over aggressive things like charging just into the enemy team, and against something like a Zenyatta, you're just going to get Discord tagged on you. You're not an LOS of your Ana, and whenever Tri-Spear was trying to get to the heals on him, he just couldn't at that point. So Colsty had just a little bit of a rough game, and again, you mentioned it before, it didn't look like the same Colsty in that we saw on Oasis. It looked like a completely different player, and that's maybe, you know, Tri-Spear saying like, look, dude, you gotta rein it in a little bit. I know, you know, that there's some jitters. There's, you know, we're this is a Contender spot online, but you gotta rein it back. Trust in me more so than anyone else. Trust in me to make sure that you're healed, make sure that I'm keeping you up, because if I can't see you and you're charging in just alone into enemy 6 people, I'm not gonna be able to heal you. So just definitely having that cohesion between the team, we definitely saw that grow throughout, and I'm very, very impressed with how Colsey was able to rein it in and play a lot more just kind of just around Tri-Spear.
Nice. I mean, it was like really like great growth that we saw come out through that series. Guys, briefly, one of the things that we mentioned in the pre-game was that we were going to be looking out for these one-on-one matchups. Now, if I had to ask each of you who your favorite matchup who you saw in this series were, who would you tell me?
I think I would have to say, based on the last maps that we saw, the last 3 maps that we had seen, I think it has to go between Maus and Lynx, and specifically on the Widow and on the Zarya as well. Maus in the last 2 maps, on Widow specifically on Rialto, Lynx looked like it was pretty much even, but Maus hit some of the clutchest shots that saved his team from, you know, Colsty being a little bit over aggressive and going in with, you know, not a lot of health. And if in a world where Maus isn't that player on that team, I don't think that they continue to, I don't think they full hold on Rialto. I think Maus just hit a bunch of clutch shots. And going back to the Zarya, LaFon mentioned it earlier, Maus didn't hit a grab that I thought was bad the entire, or I didn't think got a lot of value the entire time. And Lynx, with a couple of his grabs, Graviton is one of the most important abilities in a GOATS composition and in a 3-3 composition. And if you're not getting value out of that, it's something that you really need to work on. And Lynx, I think, needs to work on it a little bit. There were times on Oasis specifically where he would throw out grab. You know, it got eaten once on Hanamura. He needs to get a little bit more value. And even if Maus was solo grabbing someone, he solo grabbed Lynx, and Lynx and then he brought out a Shatter and a Transcendence for it. So the Graviton usage was really something that I thought gave Maus that edge in that Zarya battle.
For my part, I think the Lynx Maus matchup was really fascinating, but I think you got to talk about the difference between Minikunga and Tri-Spear, because fundamentally both these players played very, very well. I think Tri-Spear, the edge was just a little bit higher, and it's not a knock on Minikunga at all. Minikunga had a pretty good series, actually, and it was less his fault that the team lost and more just Shoes Money Crew cleaning up as a team towards the very end. It's really interesting to see that the fact that we sung out Tri-Spear so much, you know, through the general usage of supports, but Minikunga was right there with him. And I think you got to give credit to where credit's due. A support doing that much work and still, you know, it came just a little bit short, but his growth throughout the entirety of Trials, in fact, has been a one to watch, and be interesting to see where he goes from here.
Well, we have seen some very exciting Overwatch today, but that will be it from us here at Broadcast.gg for EU Contenders Trials, and you will wait until Contenders EU starts with these 4 teams that have come up from Trials, as well as the already in Contenders that will start next month. But from us here, it's going to be goodbye for now.